when you stream? You don't jump scare
Yeah,
people? Oh, you're
I I
crazy.
I I ping my Discord so that way I get maximum viewership.
I used to. Now I don't do that anymore because I'm worried about like getting people to. Because it's like I have 5,000 people in my Discord. I know that's not how many are coming to the stream, and there's some part of me that's like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to
What I
bother
do,
them.
I have a role that's like an opt-in role, so you click it in the roles channel and you'll get pinged for live stream notifications. And if you're ever like,
Oh
fuck this guy,
yes, I do have that.
yeah, that's what I do. Oh my God, it's the elk.
I have a channel called Shill Moment, which is where all of those alerts go to.
We have the stream chat shared, right? I'm not going
All right.
crazy.
No, not yet. I have to dock us manually.
Oh yeah, the
There we go.
docking.
All right. Chat is now docking. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Okay. We should be good. I was double bouncing everybody with my audio because I had my own stream manager unmuted, and so it was playing back my fucking everything I was saying.
I see. Is the audio good over here for my chat? Question
Yeah.
mark. It should
Oh,
be.
yeah, we should be fine. My buddy's wife left him. Thank you for the stream. Are you friends with the guy from Elk's comment section?
Yeah, I saw that
Because
comment.
I looked at your like deck review YouTube video before I got on stream, and I saw someone comment, "My wife left me. Thank you for the video, Elk."
Mold sounds double. Okay, hopefully that fixed it.
Tetroons, thank you for the 16 months at Tier 1, my friend. Welcome back to the dog home. Boss, do I get to get unbanned from playing Confessor since Primetime is still banned? Can I have a little Confessor as a treat? Listen, you can lose as many games as you want to. Okay, Ellie? There's nothing preventing you from throwing your own Commander games. Soulstorming, thank you for the 100 bits. Please, for the love of God, I need a reasonable take on these changes instead of random YouTuber screeching. You're in the wrong motherfucking... I'm kidding. Yeah, Elk and I would have... we have not... Like other collab streams, we at least kind of softball a few, like, are we generally happy or are we generally sad? Like, what's the mood ring color that we're coming to this collaboration with? And we've not talked about this at all. I just pulled up the list. While I was walking to Taco Bell this morning. All right. I gotta hit...
Yeah, let's beam ads directly into our viewers' eyes.
Manual ad break! Manual ad break! Manual ad break!
I'm pressing the button. For some reason, OBS deleted all of my docs.
Oh, it deleted all your little... That's weird. I feel like that happens. So cool. I feel like they must have done that to me because I remember re-adding a button. Layla, we'll be going over the bracket article a little bit. My singular favorite part of the bracket article is Gavin Verhey going, "It dies to removal. LMAO, get fucked." That's the whole. That's the entire bracket. That's the entire unban article.
He's right though.
Is these things? I don't think he is. I think. I mean, I think that's the thing about the semantics of Commander is I think from a power level perspective, 100% true and real and based. I don't think it's gonna matter, but from a play pattern perspective, he's wrong as fuck. Elk has a mild echo. Elk, stop echoing.
Sorry, I had to thank my sub.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, sorry. I'm very echoey. I'm a very echoey boy. I have not had to like actually locate the interaction feed on Twitch in like months. Where is that? I've just always had it on my OBS.
Oh, the activity feed. It's just always been there. I don't know what you're talking about. Because Because I hit start on OBS, I minimize that dumbass. And then I'm just in my in my fucking managers. All right.
God, you think it'd be ready to stream? Activity. Aha.
Oh, hold on. I got a random smasher pass redeemed. Ghost lit stalker elk. This seems like your kind of card, but I'm gonna pass.
Oh wait, hang on. Ghostlit stalker. It has me intrigued. There's a lot of ghostlit things. He needs to brush a little more.
That is the main problem. Not the posture. It's the fact that he doesn't fucking floss.
It's okay if he's a little hunched, you know. I wouldn't mind like Quasimodo getting all on it, you know, whatever. Are you okay? Sorry,
I'm fine. I'm fine. Of the two people in this call, I am okay. Zoria, I am sick in the head the way I immediately jumped to Sway of the Stars as a suspend win con. You're not sick, but you are bad at math. We can talk about that more a little later.
Ooh, I get double Discord pings. That's awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that was from me. I'm just so popular. Mute tab.
Just so overwhelmingly popular. I am... Okay. I'm out of the ad breaks. Are you out of ads?
I'm out of ads as well, yeah.
All right, then let's get into... We are going to talk game changers too, everybody, but we are doing the banned and restricted announcement first, and we're going to silo that, and then we're going to do the bracket update and all of the new stuff that got added to the game changer list after that. So I will just... Hey, I'll open it up with thank fuck Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, and Dockside are still dead. I hope those rot in hell forever. How do you feel about that, Elk?
Especially Jeweled Lotus in my mind is just a card that just should not exist. Really pleased they decided not to roll those back.
You know what's so horrible about the sentence you just said? Is in this article, Gavin says Jeweled Lotus is the only one that might come back. They talk about it. Let me scroll to the fucking bottom, because you fucking... Oh my god. Because let me find this. Yeah, they have a section on Dockside Extortionist, Jeweled Lotus, and Mana Crypt, and they do a lot of talk about it. I will be transparent and say that if I believe if any of these are ever to return, the most likely one is Jeweled Lotus. And then they talk about a bunch of bullshit reasons that Jeweled Lotus is not the worst card that's ever touched this game. But...
Black Lotus, due to its one-shot nature, we all know that card's not good.
Yeah, hey.
Iconic feel. Yeah, the iconic feel of Black Lotus. Let's bring back Time Walk, you know? It's a one-shot card.
Just remove whatever they cast.
Yeah, okay, listen.
You guys are running swords to plowshares, right? Come on.
No, exactly. I have seen the turn 1 Shieldred, where they go Shieldred turn 1, swords to plowshares. I never saw Shieldred for the rest of the game. I will say that for sure. However, where it becomes an issue is like the combo decks that like Godo.
Oh like, yeah, no. I hate it.
Yeah, that's fucked up and evil. And also, it's just such a horrible design because it's just like, yeah, you have a commander, so long as it has at least 3 mana that you can spend in it. If Jeweled Lotus is better than a Lotus Petal, your commander deck should have it.
Mm-hmm. It's bullshit, and I do hate it. I think that high mana value commanders don't deserve support. I think you have support, and it's called all fucking 13 of the 2 mana rocks you can play. Eat shit.
If Jeweled Lotus was actually for high mana value commanders, it would say use this mana only to cast this commander with mana value 6 or greater.
If they weren't bitches, they would limit it to CMC 6 or higher. Oh, and then Tivit would finally be fair.
Listen, it'd still be broken in Tivit and Godo, of course, but like, at least you wouldn't be lying to me.
Okay.
Thank you, Big Pie 27. Hooray!
Let's scroll back to the beginning. Lunar787, thank you for the prime, and Storming, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. So first up on the unbans for Commander is we now have re-access to gifts ungiven. I 100% agree with this. I think this card got banned. This was like a spirit of the format ban back when the scariest thing you could do was aggro slivers. So I think I think it's a bullshit card, but I feel like it's totally on the level of bullshit that everybody else is doing.
Yeah, the thing is with gifts ungiven, I don't care if you think it's good or not. I don't care if you think it's broken or not. This card should not be banned if intuition is legal.
Mm-hmm. If gifts given is legal.
If intuition is legal, then gifts ungiven should be legal.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. They can both be banned. Like, I'm fine with that option too. I'm happy that gifts ungiven is like I like blue double entomb. That's cool. You can do a lot of funny stuff with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think it has the like meaningful difference of intuition of you pull the double entomb in Soul Tide. That's gonna make a lot of people squeal really loudly, but for sure they are close enough together that you can do the like they're cousins. If one of them's in jail, the other one should be in jail because of the standing rule that we jail the family members of all criminals. But somebody asked, is this fair in my Kotus toolbox deck? This card's never fair. I think it's like you're probably not winning the game on the spot with it, and that's something you tell the table when you're trying to politic the resolution of this spell. But like you're never pulling out 4 different whatever you want and being like, this is normal. But you can pull out 4 different whatever you want and be like, hey, this isn't gonna win the game. You should let this resolve because it will solve this problem and I will not win on the spot. And then it's just you trying to figure out like, how do I get as much value as possible without going over and the table being like, no, you bust, I explode your penis.
Yeah, when it comes to gifts ungiven, honestly, mostly, it depends on what you tutor for. Of course, if you put Thassa's Oracle line in your tutor box, you're gonna explode the table, right? And this card's stupid. But like, legitimately, if you're like, I'm a reanimator deck, I'm gonna put 2 giant fat monsters in my graveyard. I'm in Dimir Reanimator. Like,
yeah.
The gifts ungiven being unbanned is fine because, like any other tutor, it's what you tutor for and how you build your deck, as opposed to, like, you know, just like the power level of the card itself. Like, gifts ungiven's really good, of course, but
I think it's probably going to be one of the ultimate expressions of cut your tutor targets and not your tutors if you think the deck is bullshit. This might be the only one that goes over that line and is like, it's 4 cards. Like, this tutor's pretty fucked up. I might not have 1 card I tutor every single commander game, but if you let me grab 4 things every commander game, there might be like one, host of that show.
Let's be honest, I'm already fucking doing this.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I wanted to talk about, like, this was banned for like the spirit of like Sheldon Memory Magic, where he was like, oh, we don't tutor, we just hit each other with pool noodles and laugh the whole time. If you showed any of these, if you went back in time to when they banned Gifts Ungiven and you showed them your Caradora deck, the entire table has a heart attack. Not the commander table, the panel, the meeting room. They all just die on the fucking spot looking at oh yeah, and then I can go fetch Recruiter of the Guard with Bright Glass Gearhulk, and then I can go fetch this other thing. Everybody would shit themselves. But today, pretty fine. Or like pretty strong, but not an Avengers level threat. So let's move on to I think this next one is like in a dogfight for last place in terms of how powerful the things they unbanned are, which is Sway of the Stars, aka Blue Worldfire.
Yeah.
Pour a little sugar on this one, Elk.
there's really nothing to say. You're not paying 10 mana for this spell. That's for certain. You're finding some fucking evil, vile way to cheat this into play, whether that's with omniscience or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're doing some fuckery with this card, like, ooh, I've suspended or I've plotted like 6 free spells in Simic or something. And now what I'm gonna do is sway the stars off my omniscience, and I'm going to proceed to kill the table with all the free spells I can cast from exile now, because this doesn't touch that. So, yeah, like, that's what's happening. However, that doesn't happen before like turn 8. So
I think this will probably, I don't know if it's immediately shooting to number 1. I think this becomes an immediate Hall of Famer for cards people think they have a combo for that does not really work.
It's like, oh, but then I can do this and this and this. I'm like, no, those are in your library right now. You need to have some other plan.
Instant all timer. Like legendary fucking cord. This is the Tom Brady of combos that don't actually win the game. But just like, oh, I take so many game actions. I have so much neuron activation. Yeah, so I also think this is fine. I can't even. This is one of the cards where I learned that this was banned because of the unbans, and went, holy fuck, we banned this.
I mean, yeah, the reason why it was banned originally was because, and I quote, just shuffle up and play another game of Magic instead of resetting the game.
I do want to actually skip over some cards because I don't want to get mad yet. And if I even conceptualize the B word, I'm going to get really mad. I want to talk about what is perhaps my favorite and the worst thing ever to do with this card, which is the Panoptic Mirror Unban. This is the purity test. This is what I think is the other worst card that got unbanned, and I think is mostly a purity test, depending on how fucked up you think it is totally determined by how fucked up of a person you actually are. And DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. The phasing players think they're cooking with this on Sway of the Stars. You're fucking right. So Elk, what are you doing with this card?
Well, you're taking infinite turns, right? That's what you do.
Hold on. Extremely loud incorrect buzzer. Thank you. Extremely loud incorrect buzzer. They do talk about that. They say, like, we think this can be unbanned because chaining extra turns is already codified in the bracket system, and so if you're going to use this for fucked up shit, you are instantly in bracket 4 jail anyway because you're using it for turns. My first thought as the guy who thought the cool thing about Captain Howler was that Thrill of Possibility became card positive, was, oh, all the people who wanted Primetime unbanned can now imprint Cultivate. Cool.
Cultivate gets only basics, good sir.
Yeah, it's close. What lands are you running, Elk? What lands are you running? That's what I fucking thought. Extremely loud incorrect buzzer again. We just keep purity testing. But yeah, like there's so much stuff where I feel like this winning the game is a game that should have ended. And is at a level of play where you should be able to deal with it.
I want to say, even extra turns on this thing is like kind of fair.
Oh, like what? Oh, you don't have artifact removal? Oh, you can't. Oh.
It's 10 total mana to get running. And that's like pretty nuts to do in like bracket 4 jail.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, even with infinite turns, this is kind of like fair. And honestly, I kind of oppose the infinite turns or chaining turns thing at bracket 3. I do think chaining turns is a bit bad. If you have like a Narset non-deterministic turns deck where you're like, will I brick? Will I brick? Will I brick? Fourth time, will I brick? That's not fun. But if you have deterministically infinite turns, I fail to see how this is different than like a turn 7 combo win. right? Because if you
Yeah.
have infinite turns, I'm never getting a turn again, which is just like that's how you
Yeah,
win.
I agree with that.
You're
I
Blue
do.
Sun Zenith.
I feel like that is a thing where that is a they have made that different because of how it plays out in practice, because for some fucking reason motherfuckers will get so spiteful about deterministically infinite turns in a way that they never get about deterministically infinite damage. Like, I've had people scoop to me when I'm playing Is It Storm well before I get there because they see a gutter snipe and they go like, yeah, I'm dead. But if you can tell somebody I'm taking 10,000 turns right now, and they will look you dead in the eye and go, I think you might not have it.
By the way,
Which,
Solaria, turn 7 combo wins are allowed in bracket 3, actually.
that is the first turn they're allowed, in fact. That is the that is the explicit turn you're allowed to combo win, is you have to wait until turn 7 like a good boy.
Yeah, I asked Rachel Weeks about it, actually, and she said quite plainly, the reason why they're kind of like this is because there's just like not really a separator. Like they feel kind of similar, like infinite turns and chaining turns. Like there can be a little bit of like overlap between those two things, which I understand completely. I'll just bring it up in Rule Zero conversations, but it feels a little bit like a bug and not a feature that I have to go like, listen, this is my Techathal deck. I proliferate my Magistrate Scepter and take infinite turns, and I have to disclose that. Where meanwhile the Blood Artist Schmo Joe across from me doesn't have to do shit. Like
Yeah. Now, and I want to speak to that because it wraps up with what Agamame is saying, that the game changer and brackets seem based too much on salt score rather than like actual playability, because why is infinite turns more evil than infinite damage, except that Timmy's more salty about it. One consideration is what makes people unhappy explicitly matters for this system, right? This is not a system that is exclusively for how do we get the most power balanced games ever. It's a power balancing tool that is mostly meant for people to have a better time. And unfortunately, even though I made fun of the Timmy players who look you in the eyes and go like, oh, I don't think you have it, I've met people who can take infinite turns and not win. Like, infinite turns are one of it's one of the pit stops on the path to hell paved by mono blue control players. There are people like Elk with the Techathal deck who, like, you're dead. When the infinite turn things happen, you have lost the game, pack it up. And there are people, like, I have spoken to these people, I have looked them in their empty eyes, and they have been like, yeah, I can take infinite turns, but if you have a, like, flying blocker, if you have Zatalpa, the alphabet soup dinosaur, I might not be able to kill you because I spent so much of my like deck's power budget on going infinite and none on going infinite in a way that matters. And so like I do get it, as dumb as it is.
It's tough, yeah, because you can't really like police how people have built their decks. Do you win if you have infinite turns? Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. PSA for all the viewers out there: Blue Sun Zenith is very cheap, and it will win the game when you have infinite turns. So you should just have one of those in your deck. I promise the cost is not that high.
Like, yeah, what I'm putting on Panoptic Mirror, I'm putting Arenicus's Vile Duplication in my Niv Mizzet Clones deck.
Yes,
that's what I'm using this for, is I am getting a new Niv Mizzet every upkeep, eat my ass.
I need to peek at, like, my decks to, like, see what I would even put. Saw in half would be sick.
Yeah,
in Iora, just repeatedly saw in half Grey Merchant of Asphodel every turn.
Oh, I also, the reason I called the security test, I dogged on Elk just because they were here and that's like Prey Drive kicked in. But the reason I called the security test, and I will trust one of you fine folks on the internet to get this next section to Joe Johnson any way you need to. The reason I know this card is for evil people is because I know Joe Johnson looked at this card and went, holy shit, I can cast All Is Dust every upkeep. I know that for a goddamn fact. I know that he picked up one of his 18 Eldrazi decks, and he said, I can cast All Is Dust every single upkeep. And I know you've slotted it into a deck already, Joe. And I'm gonna fucking get you. I'm gonna fucking get you.
Oh God, can you imagine like imprinting like what's it called? It's the green evolution card. You sacrifice a creature, search some Eldritch Evolution. Every turn you just like birthing pod for whatever the hell you want. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm having too much fun.
Oh God. DMC, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Dance with Calamity or Windfall are the only things that deserve to be the imprints for this. Dance with Calamity would be, I think that gets you killed, and I think you deserve it, but I think you die happy. Which, Elk, are you a dance believer?
I have it in my Roxanne deck because Roxanne mana doesn't exist, so like it's basically just Gruul Omniscience, that deck. Yeah. And Dance with Calamity is the way that I touch the most cardboard because my curve ends at 5.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's move on to my least favorite unban, which is gonna be fucking Braids Cabal Minion. I'm
for it.
You bitch. We don't need, like, why the fuck do we need Stinky Sally the Porta Potty Bandit? Why is she here? I
love her.
Why do you love her? You love wrong. You love wrong. You can't fix her. Was Turgrid lonely? Like, so here's my thing about it is I think it will not like ruin Commander or anything. I just think it's instantly in Turgrid jail. In the sense of like, this is the type of deck where if you were like, oh, I'm going to play this, I would either swap decks or leave. Like, it's just
Braids has the Trinisphere thing going on where she's broken at high power and she's a wet fart at low power.
Oh yeah, listen, if you show me the deck list and you're like, I swear on my mama that I do not have Soul Ring or Dark Ritual, yeah, we can play this. That's great. You want like a guaranteed sack trigger every turn for your Aristocrats or Reanimator thing? Hell yeah, go off. But it's just like, why are we, I feel like in high power, we're coin flipping whether or not I can make you all concede turn 1.
Well, the thing is with Jeweled Lotus being gone now, that's actually like kind of like a task now.
I mean, I think the thing is, it is a less frequent task, but it's a still totally doable one. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. You can like Mana Vault and then Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, right? But
like
it's a lot more of a task.
Right. And to what Renaissance is saying about that as a lightning bolt target, this was the thing where Gavin Verhey just wrote an entire paragraph that said run lightning bolt, shit ass, and then did the textual version of vine booming all of us.
But he's right.
I agree with it from a power level standpoint. I disagree with it from when they talked about unbanning things. They talked about like, one of the 3 qualities they spoke of for something that made a good unban target was does not contribute to negative or runaway play patterns. And if I was going to summarize every Braids Cabal minion deck in one sentence, it would be to create a negative and runaway play pattern.
Yeah, that much is true. I will not disagree with that. I'm just saying without Jeweled Lotus, that happens like as often as like the turn 0 Thassa's Oracle win.
That's not like, true.
Yeah, no, like
that's
there's definitely a little
desperately
bit more to
and so I think it's they unbanned it. Most of the things they unbanned. Also, can we get some 07s in chat for Triple Mango Threat, the YouTube editor, who's here to watch what... Hey, Mango, we're cutting this shit up today, by the way.
We need to get this out now!
So, like, everything else that got unbanned, right? I think Gifts Ungiven, incredibly powerful for the CEDH girlies. Sway of the Stars, and, like, Panoptic Mirror, and one more card that will not yet be spoken of. were unbanned because they were like, you can do your level best to do something cute with this, and maybe you succeed, but even if you fail, it's extremely whatever. Braids is like, if you succeed, that game sucks. If you fail, the game is now a 3-player game with you in the corner crying.
Yeah, braids, that's if you use it as a commander and power it out on turn 1. I'm seeing braids in like an aristocrats deck. I have or like, you know, Mazarek, Crowl Death Priest. This gets you 4+1/+1 counters each rotation of the table, which is, I think it's like meaningfully fine. Like, I think that's actually a pretty fun engine for a sacrifice deck, triggering your Mayhem Devil every so often.
In Golgari, I agree. Or in black plus anything. In the 99 of any 2 or 3 color deck, I think this is terminally fine, which is also what Gavin Verhey spoke to. I specifically mean like in Commander, as Commander, I think this is Turgrid jail.
Yeah, it's definitely in the Turgrid realm. I do want to back up Gavin a little bit on dice removal, because there is some worlds where that's actually correct, where dice removal isn't a fallacy. Yeah. And it's purely when a card is expensive to play and it doesn't do anything right away.
See, I disagree with that. I think or I guess I agree plus with that, because to me, the important quality of a dies to removal argument is more about how much common removal in the game hits you. Because some people will say, like, dies to removal about Avacyn, because, like, an Eat It, like, Soul Shatter and Swords to Plowshares will hit her, versus, like, Infernal Grasp won't. So I am more open to dies to removal on braids, because you can shock the bitch, right? Yeah, we don't need some highfalutin fucking. We don't have to play Council's Judgment, get everybody to unanimously vote to kill her. We can just like fucking sneeze as a red deck and she dies. So I am like more open for dies to removal than not. I just think it's like, I don't know who needed this as their commander, but I do know you're all sickos. That's really it's like, will it fail? Yes. I think the most likely outcome of this unban is for the next 4 weeks, the most annoying person you know at your LGS makes this their entire personality. And most of the time, somebody mulligans to removal and they get blown out of the game turn 1, and then they just complain the rest of the time. And then like 20% of the time they stick it turn 1, you can't answer it, and you all just concede, and we're like, that was a fun 10 minutes. And then people will just stop playing it, and then it will go in all the Mazarek decks that Elk is talking about, and then it will truly be fine. Once we tape her to the underside of Marin, she will be fine.
Yeah, for me, it's just like, whenever I hear, and this isn't going to happen at casual tables, this is why it's in bracket 4 jail. For me, when I hear Swamp, Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Braids turn 1, pass, I sacrifice my mountain, sure. I then play a new mountain, tap it, lightning bolt the braids, and then in this world, I have effectively 4-for-1'd you.
Right, and that's why I'm saying in most situations this just becomes a 3-player game where this player is now complaining, which I think is like I think that is a bad thing for Commander, even if the Braids player has been defeated. Like, I think it's good if we kill the villain. I think the fact that we have unbanned the villain in the first place for these shitty no good play path, like that is the perfect world. They would have just brought back banned as commander, and then this. But I think they're trusting, for all the shit we give WotC, they actually do have like a pretty good sense of when people will socially ban something, and I think they're just trusting. Like Gavin's trusting, people are going to socially ban Braids as commander, and Braids will be fine in the 99. And I do agree with that. Yeah, I think people who are gonna save themselves from themselves in a way where they're gonna get blown out and they're gonna be like, that wasn't that fun. I think I'll just put Turgrid back in the command zone. Oh, actually. What if I I think that kind of sucked. What if I made it till turn 2 until everybody targeted me?
Precisely. All right, I'm gonna move on after.
Yeah. Let's go to the last one. Coalition fucking Victory. An 8-mana sorcery that allows you to win the game if you're playing Tiamat and you've cast Tiamat. I have gone back and forth on how I feel about this a few times, just over the course of the morning, because what I do think is necessary is I think we need some like concise win the game cards for these like dumbass 5-color value piles.
Yes.
I don't know enough about how somebody might cheat this out. I think that's more more your speed, Elkathan. But like go off.
It's kind of free. Like, I don't know, like it's an unban that you can do. This doesn't explode the format. It's just kind of boring. Like when people say combos are boring, what they're not seeing, of course, is the deck building that went into that combo.
Right.
The line that you have to follow through your deck and assemble the pieces. With Coalition Victory in a 5-color deck, well, of course it's a 5-color deck. Do you control your commander?
Got him.
Exactly. It's literally a 1-card combo, and it's like, okay, that's fine. What Coalition Victory turns every 5-color deck into the pregame discussion: are you running Coalition Victory in your 5-color deck? No. Okay, great. Then we can not beat you to death.
Yeah, and I think, and that's one of the things that brought me around on it, which is that I think we do need more beating 5-color players to death. Like, I think one of the worst brain worms that has infected everybody is the desire to let a 5-color player cook. They're all monsters. Like, we're all like, and I say that as somebody who very affectionately plays Niv Mizzet Guild Pact and is like, ha ha ha, oh look at me, I'm copying Niv Mizzet's. Kill me, bro. If your deck has 5 colors, that is international waters. We are using it to smuggle drugs. Like, you can't allow any of us to live. You just can't. And so I think it's both good that the card is out there to have a hard I win button to get people out of what I call pre-con jail, which is the phase a lot of people who like to play quote-unquote fair Magic will put themselves in pre-con jail, where they don't ever have a decisive way to win, and you just end up kind of like staring at each other, never wanting to take attacks because everybody would die to the crackback. And Coalition Victory becomes a way out of that. And I think people get mad at it because it's boring, but also, like, it's better to have a commander game. It's better to have a really, really good mid-game that has a somewhat boring end than it is to have a commander game that goes on 3 hours because nobody brought a card that wins the game.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Like, the Craterhoof Behemoths of the world, I'm down. And I honestly do think that Coalition Victory is weaker than Craterhoof Behemoth.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because you just go, like, kill spell on your 5-color commander in response. Like, Coalition Victory effectively gets countered. That's a 2-for-1. Like, that's a serious swing in your favor.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Dare on YouTube says, Mald, what if I have no decisive ways to win, but I prevent my opponents from ever having any ways to win? Am I still in pre-con jail? Brother, you are the warden. And that is a bad thing. Like, you are not, that's not even like funny Saw movie stuff. That's you doing the Saw movie voice when everyone else is like, yeah, we want to play a game. We want to play a fun game. What the fuck are you doing, Darren?
Yeah, I have a prison deck, but part of that prison is making Brizella Voice of Nightmares, which is a 9/10 flying vigilance lifelink word soup, which kills everyone. So,
right.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
There's a difference between like hard prison, like I've locked you all into a permanent state of winter moon, or winter orb, and then there's like a Staxy sort of deck that's just trying to buy enough time so you can win with combat damage, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely a valley there.
Yeah, and so I will wait tentatively to see if the 5-color players do if there is some combo line that I am not currently thinking of that is just like this very clean and consistent, oh, I'm going to coalition victory every single game. But in my mind, this is just like one more bullet that I'm putting in the magazine that I have labeled ramping is doing your thing, and I'm allowed to kill you after. It's just one more fucking bullet that I push into the mag of like, no, you cast cultivate. That is doing your thing. Sorry, brother. Bang bang.
I haven't even drawn a card off my Rhystic study yet.
Right. Instead of these, the why me's of like, I don't know. You Sky Shroud claimed, and you got enough triumphs to cover all 5 basic land types. You might be about to coalition victory us. Catch this Finn. Fucking die. So
yeah. My heart does go out to all the coalition victory players out there that are actually trying to like have 5 different monocolored creatures and like 5 basics. Like, cool.
Oh yeah, if you show me coalition victory, everything is only 1 pip or it's all basic lands, that is like, we're pushing on bracket 1 and that we're pushing on bracket 1 at that point. You can probably get like a good bracket 2. Like there's enough single color tutor things that I would believe that's like bracket 2 playable, but that would be like, oh hey, I'll pray for you. I'll get you some Gatorade for the halfway point, dude. Good luck.
Oh, true. Gigantha would be sick for that. Gigantha's only red and green, and then she taps for 5 colors.
Oh, yeah. Gigantha Commander, coalition victory.
All right, dope. I'm.
All right, so let's.
mean, like, yeah. I don't know what to say. It's just a boring card.
Yeah, it's a very boring card. I think it's acceptable for the ecosystem levels of boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you ready to talk about the game changers?
Absolutely.
Then I'm going to now stop recording and start recording again so we can make these separate YouTube videos. Mango, get in the fucking basement.
Double dipping.
Yeah,
you can start editing now.
Also, shout out to all my green players. Rest in piss. I hope Primetime stays buried forever. Eat shit.
Oh yeah, do we want to talk about things we wish we were that were unbanned? Because there is a bunch of stuff in the ban restricted. Hate to add work to this, but
oh yeah, hate to add. Okay, Mango, tentatively cut it here, and we're gonna keep vamping. Storming, thank you for the 100 biddies. Do you guys not want to go over the justifications for the existing ban list? Let me go look.
Index ban list review. It's actually kind of interesting. This is what I wanted to talk about at most.
Okay. Cards that could use explanation for whether they'll return. Oh yeah, what the fuck? Where's my guy Balance?
Bring back Balance legitimately.
Where the fuck is my guy Balance? Massively strips, dog. That's not true. So, especially brutal in decks that are all about mana. I feel like this is just pre-game conversation. Does your deck have at least 34 lands in it? If it does, you can run Balance without us beating you up.
I think what's fine about Balance is that it's in bracket 4 jail. It's mass mana denial.
Nah, I'd run this in every deck.
I would run it in every deck. Like Balance.
That's the one. That's the one thing Malt and Elk agree on is we're fighting about like acceptable power of every other aspect of the game, and then we're like, Balance, staple.
It's all in the name. This card's balanced.
Yeah, I can see why they didn't put it in for the sole reason of like they do. Which, I mean, fucking flies in the face of the braids unban. But for the most part, they want people to do, like, more, and never less. But also, fucking give it to me. I'll be normal. I won't.
Oh, God. Well, you can always restore balance, you know. There's lines for that.
I'll get you.
It's no... I would rather just have the real thing.
True. Okay, next. Biorhythm... Yeah, fuck this card. I'm glad it's dead.
This is literally coalition victory. In my mind.
I don't think that's as true. I think specifically in the case of Simic. I don't think it's a particularly good card. So I don't think this is like, oh, this is Gifts Ungiven level of powerful. I think it is much closer to coalition victory. That said, when I look at like when I look at like goofy deck play patterns, Simic decks are often risking way less to mega ramp than the 5-color decks are. Like 5-color decks are fucking open forting to try to find all their goddamn pips. Simic decks are shitting out 8 mana on accident in a casual game. And so I think it's both like easier to play. It is easier to get like 1-2 punches with it, and it's much more likely to create like Worldfire-esque non-games than it is to just be like a win the game combo. I think if this was better at winning the game for the Biorhythm player, this would actually be more unbannable. But I think
I'm willing to accept that.
It's just like green Worldfire, and green's the worst color. So green does, all the other colors get their Worldfires, but green doesn't.
Emrakul.
Oh yeah, mother. Powerhouse, de facto top end in a ton of decks. It's possible as the bracket system grows it may be more tolerable at 3 and above, but for the moment we've left it off. So what I'm hearing is people didn't post on Blue Sky enough about Emrakul. So if you all want Emrakul unbanned, I think this is them saying you guys didn't complain loudly enough.
I think if this didn't have the word Annihilator on it, it would be unbanned.
True.
It would be unbanned immediately.
True, yeah, they're very careful about giving things big levels of Annihilator. They really, nobody tell Elk what we're pulling up. They're really careful about just giving you a shitload of Annihilator because it makes for so many like unsatisfying game ends. True.
I imagine you have Ulamog up on your stream right now.
No. You sound. But yeah, I think you could pick the extra turn thing or the Annihilator thing, and then they probably would have let it out of jail. But I think with both,
the thing with Ulamog though is it does fuck all off a sneak attack. Like you need to have some amount of setup to get the Ulamog going. With Emrakul, that's not the case. You just get 6.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's tough because I actually kind of like Emrakul. This is mostly my other format speaking. I really like Emrakul as a Magic the Gathering card.
That's so funny because my entire life as a Legacy player is like stopping Emrakuls. That's all I do.
Omni Show is tearing up the meta right now. It's really good right now. Especially with Mistrise Village. Oh, disgusting. But yeah, no, I do enjoy Emrakul. I don't know, it's just a cool card. Very iconic.
Yeah. I feel ambivalent. It's like I don't think I would have freaked out to see her unbanned, and I'm also not like up in arms that she's still banned. I think they knew the culture is feeling Emrakul. They are not feeling Emrakul so much that we were going to riot to not get her back right now. And so they were just like, oh, I don't know, maybe later.
I will say that 13 mana Emrakul is objectively the coolest Emrakul though. Like this one dwarfed by the
Promised End? Yeah, Promised End fucks.
That card's sick.
Probably the worst I've ever been as a person is I built an Emrakul, the Promised End deck in Brawl, and all I tried to do was run other people's commander into it and leave them in the graveyard.
Yeah, I love taking my opponent's turn for them because I can just do it better.
You had this in your hand? Oh my god. You idiot. You had lethal.
And it's always so nice to like mind control someone and they have like Wall of Blood in their hand and then it's just like, you're dead. I'll pay all of your life total into this card. Oh, an ad nauseum turn for me?
Oh my god. Alright, next up is Areo, Sorotami Ascendant. We can flip this to counter the first spell played by each opponent each turn. Oh yeah, fuck this card. What?
So the thing is, there's a card. Isn't Jin Gataxias literally just this? Not like the currently unbanned.
No. In all the ways that matter, Jin Gataxis is not like this. I know because I love Jingle Keys.
This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. So you can have a team up with the 7-mana Jin.
Well, the 7-mana Jin is also artifact instant sorcery. So like, I'm very like, rest in peace to your fucking bright glass Gearhulk line. Very importantly, Jin Gatax's Progress Tyrant is immediately beaten into paste by the average dinosaur player. And Areo, like, this is, like, in my mind, this is staying in jail because even in bracket 3, you get a ton of people who every turn they just want to, like, tap out for something fucked up. And Areo's just like, hey, that's dead now. I hope you have I hope you're all running Ponder to feed into my fucking legendary enchantment meat grinder. Versus Jin Gataxis, like, he fucks up a ton of stuff, but most people can just go like, okay, whatever, I tap out for, I don't know, Pantlaza, get shit on.
Yeah, I can see that then. Yeah, I once again, I just don't have a lot of play with the 7-mana Jin, so I just thought it said something different.
Because it like, and I feel like because it doesn't contribute to a win con at all, you just go like Cheerio deck, turn 2, Arayo, dumbass 0-mana artifacts that don't do anything other than make all my friends have a bad time.
Yeah, this is okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! Saying, yeah, as a blue-green enjoyer, the difference between 2 and 7 is not as big as people see. Yeah, but also you are just getting mulched by dinosaurs.
Yeah, like
Gataxis is getting run over.
And I say that as somebody who I kept putting Jin Gataxis in decks being like, this is how I win, and then I got fucking beaten to death by a tree. Like every time I played Jin Gataxis Progress Tyrant being like, this is how I lock this game up, a fucking rampaging Brontodon just kicks me across the field.
I got you, Mauled. So you go Bant, and with Jin Gataxis...
Immediate, extremely loud incorrect buzzer. Extremely loud incorrect buzzer.
But you also get Archon of Valor's Reach. And that lets you name creature. So creatures can't be cast.
You're making me less happy. We're moving on. We're talking about fast bond now.
You can also write of replication this thing. You know what I'm saying? You can every card from Magic.
I'm gonna piss. Okay. You also can't name creature with Archon of Valor's Reach.
Wait, really?
It's an artifact, enchantment, instant sorcery, planeswalker. Okay, fast bond.
Wrong too. I'm mad.
Fast bond. You can put as many lands into play as you want each turn. Fast bond does 1 damage to you for every land beyond the first that you play in a single turn. Yeah, fuck this card instantly. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay, it's balanced because you take 1 damage.
That's shut the fuck up. Yeah, so's Channel. Go home, everybody. Channel's balanced. It's a damage per mana. Real shit. Yeah. This is not even fun for CDH. I just think this becomes like every Tatiova deck learns how easy it is to go semi-infinite. If Fast Bond had Sentinel Tower text, I would let it out.
Oh, 1, then 2.
Which is, 1, then 2, then 3. If we laddered up, hell yeah, go crazy. Play 10 lands, see what happens.
As a vintage cube enjoyer, fucking love this card. I love this card because you go like, shit out all my lands, Wheel of Fortune. Shit out all my lands, Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's so gross. Yeah, don't unban this.
Okay, then Flash, which I agree with what they're saying here. Like, this was a good thing, and it's only getting better, as opposed to, like, Gifts Ungiven, where the world is kind of catching up to what it's doing. Flash's ceiling is only getting higher. Don't Flash people.
Flash is one of these cards that scales with design over time. The more ETBs we get, the better Flash gets.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Flash could get unbanned. So, Sarum, it could. It would just be a matter of what happens after Flash gets unbanned, which is the game gets real shitty. It gets real bad.
Yeah.
Oh, the Golos paragraph.
The Golos paragraph. Honestly, keep Golos banned. It's not even because the Golos is really that broken or anything. It's just the salt makes me so happy.
No, I feel like they're just like Golos just doesn't get enough prison mail. Like there's some people who want Golos back, and everybody who wants Golos back can play him on Brawl and have exactly as good a time as they deserve. And the rest of us are going to continue smiling.
If
Like,
Golos got unbanned, I'm putting Draenith Magistrate in all my decks.
True.
That's the trade-off, Golos players. Do you take it?
Collector oof.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, G Brand, who if there are 0 Gristlebrand lovers, I am dead. I do think he deserves to be in prison. This is like, I am Gristlebrand's prison pen pal, and all our letters are like, yeah, you did do that shit, and you deserve to rot, but I love you.
EDH is the one format where Atraxa is worse than Gristlebrand. Not talking about format Atraxa. I'm talking about, Atraxa.
Yeah, what a fucking sentence. What a fucking sentence you just said.
Atraxa is without a doubt better than Gristlebrand in every other format. In Commander, you can pay life up the ass and you don't really care. Which is, I think, fine. I like Gristlebrand a lot, and that's mostly just also coming from Vintage Cube playtime. I like his interaction with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I think that's hilarious.
Shut the fuck up. Of course you do. You little rat.
Just Agatha's Soul Cauldron onto my Shieldred and touch every card in my library. I'm into that.
Hole Breacher. Yeah, fuck this guy. I hate Merfolk. Shout out Prof. That's my guy. Fuck Merfolk. They don't deserve it. They have enough.
Yeah, Hole Breacher dies to removal. I mean, if
shut the fuck dies to shock. Hey.
I agree with Hole Breacher remaining banned. It's just not a fun play pattern, and unlike Infinite Turns, Hole Breacher is like, you could draw the out. There's a glimmer of hope. That's the worst part about Hole Breacher. What if you draw the top deck? Oh my gosh, it's the hope is what kills this card for me.
The little flash of like, but Infernal Grasp, Fell. You could draw Fell. Wouldn't it be so fun if Fell got to be the hero? Okay, and then we have Ionia, who
needs to be unbanned.
That's not true. Don't.
Ionia belongs off of the ban list. I love this card. It needs to be unbanned immediately.
As I have said before, you love wrong. The things you like are questionable and in many cases incorrect.
Out of all of the cards on this ban list, this is the one I want off the most.
You are. I mean, I won't begrudge you that because I don't want really any of these cards off the ban list, so I'm not like fighting for you over that position, but I just think, so here's the reason I don't like it. I think this could be very, very similar to like Braids as Commander in terms of the discussion. It is impossible to turbo this bitch out. 9 mana mono white, good luck, I'll see you in half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But 9 times out of 10,
this is a reanimator target.
Well, right. Well, more than reanimator target, I just think the stuff that it does is like, what if this game was uninteresting?
I think the opposite.
I think every like one cool decision you make is outweighed by like 19 shitty lame decisions where you're like, well, I know who the table cop is, I know what color the table cop's removal leans towards, that's gone.
Yeah, I want to posit a couple things. First things first, this should stay on the game changers list if it is unbanned. It's never coming off. All right, hopefully that's obvious, but
the water's
listen.
wet too. Yeah, what's your Oracle of Delphi, what is your next wisdom?
This being in bracket 3 is totally fine because monocolored decks at bracket 3 are no longer small beans. People are like, oh, think of the monocolor players. Think of the monocolor players. If you are playing mono red, it's fucking Torbrand. And you deserve to get pinned under fucking Ionia. I'm sorry, but it's true. If O'Hare Ashenil is in your command zone, you deserve to be in prison. And if you can't kill me before I get Ionian to play, that's your fault. And also on top of this, the mono red player is not what I'm naming with this. It's probably going to be the multicolor pile over here because they're actually the more interesting problem. If monocolored decks are actually that small of a bean, then I will be naming the multicolors color pair. Or like, you know, I'll be naming black, whatever color I think you're the most, because they're the more threatening target, obviously, because since monocolored decks are so unthreatening.
See, the reason I disagree with you is not because you're wrong, but you're speaking to what is the ceiling of the coolest thing you could do with Ionia, not what is Gen Pop going to do with Ionia.
I think if you clone Ionia and name all the colors of the rainbow, that's hilarious.
That's
and also,
again, that's not what Gen Pop's doing.
I know, but like, listen, I'm saying here, even if you name a color with Ionia and lock someone out of the game, you have a fucking 7/7 angel in the air. You are beating them to death. The game's not going out into a slog. You're killing them.
I think you are a liar. I think this is I think everything you're saying is true in bracket 4. I don't think it's like, I think it's more of, if we want to unban something, the additives should outweigh the negatives. I think your argument maybe would have held more weight, for at least for me, before we put her in prison to begin with. But if we're talking about, let's give you clemency, like, the stuff that this adds to a game is like so painfully little to me. And I think the most common outcome is just this, like, I've locked us into a room and I've farted. What will you do next?
I think the multiplayer nature of Commander makes Ionia a lot more interesting than people give her credit for.
I think that is true. I think, again, that is true for this ceiling. I don't think that is true for, like, the average implementation. And I think this is, again, Ionia is incredibly interesting when all 4 players are playing good decks. I think Ionia's level of interesting drops to the molten core of the earth as soon as you even go into, like, a soft 3, which is what I think is, like, the issue with just making it a game changer. Is I think if you were doing, like, at the, like, elk, trinket, snail level of, we all have removal, we all have these, like, robust and competent either value loops or tutor lines, then I think you have some interesting decisions you can make if you do, like, I'm going to Entomb reanimate my Ionia to try to, like, stop whoever's taking the game away. I think that's fine. I think every fucking, like, Selesnya pile that's just ramp into Ionia to use her as, like, bad Avacyn.
I do want to pause really quick. Ashley Borg, Elk has never played against Stacks, and it shows. I am the Stacks
Elk
player.
is the Stacks, yeah. Elk hasn't played against Stacks because he can't look in a fucking mirror.
I just really do fail to see, like, Archon of Valor's Reach, mentioning this guy again, against an Izzet Spellslinger deck, what's the difference? If I name instant with the Archon of Valor's Reach, I'm putting that player in prison as well. Enchantress player, name enchantment, you're in hell.
So what I'm hearing is we ban more green cards, which I agree with 100%. Which I agree with just 100%.
Archon's a little bit more narrow. I'll give you that. But I do actually really like Ionia, and it actually says here it could theoretically return to Commander in future, which I
hate that.
I await. with open arms. I do think Ionia should be unbanned. I know it can be salt-inducing, but I really do think the number of non-games Ionia creates is actually not as many as people are thinking. She will.
I think it's less of like totally non-games and more of I think it's just a thing where in 3 years, when the average player plays better Magic, Ionia will be fairer to unban. But I think of her as like, this is a stacks piece, and 90% of stacks players are playing stacks at tables that don't need it, or they're playing stacks really, really poorly. Versus, I think this is like the perfect tool for a small number of very, very interesting decks at very, very interesting tables. But because it looks like a bazooka, all the idiots are going to grab it to make it go boom. But my third eye opens every time I look at Ionia, and my spirit shrieks at what I see.
I'm trying to think. There's the one card called Sarah's Emissary.
Nah, there's this one card called Leovold, Emissary of Trest. I think that's what you're thinking of. I think that's what you're thinking of.
Sarah's Emissary is really cool, but we'll move on from Iona here. Yeah, fuck Leovold.
Yeah, hold on. Is this Nadu's dad?
Have you not seen Leovold? Surely
I've seen them 1 or 2 times before, but I've just never given them like much thought. This is a
vintage cube all-star.
Yeah, I mean, fuck this guy. This is just like Sultai, I'm here.
Yeah, no. The fact that he replaces himself when he is targeted by a removal spell is insane. And then you just combo him with all the wheels in blue and black. It is, once again, it's the glimmer of hope problem. I like that Iona crushes hope. Leovold's like, here, look. Light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a card, Glimmer of Hope. Yeah. And at 3 mana, it is just 3 mana in Sultai is, it's not the Braids syndrome of like, okay, well this sucks, but if we kill him, he's dead. This is fucking Jason from the Halloween movies. He is
fucking
getting
Birds of Paradise turns 1 has never looked so good.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, but true, like, right? Is you just like, hold on. Words are being said in chat. Don't Surak and Elrond draw when they're targeted for removal? So
yes, but they don't also stop all of your opponents for the rest of the game. They draw a card, but that's not the rest of the text is what matters on Leovold.
and let's talk about like the distinct difference between having to command zone Sultai versus command zoning mono green. I know that there are mono green believers out there who many of us would call copers that think mono green has heat. Having to downgrade from Sultai to mono green is absolutely devastating, and having to play any Lord of the Rings commander that is not fucking Sauron is absolutely devastating to your ability to play Magic. And so and again, like, the shutting off other people's draw is a short path to a pretty bad game. I don't think it's a non-game, but I think it's a short path to a like less interesting game. To just have like blanket, fuck y'all, get nothing.
The thing about Leo is that he's going to self-regulate like Braids. No, because Leovold's actually good. If you put Leovold in the command zone, you're going to win. If you put Braids in the command zone, you're going to get shit on.
Yeah, there are like way more arguments for Leovold being, oh, but mine's different because I'm breaking parity with Howling Mine effects. I'm not breaking parity with wheels. And then they have one wheel in there just because like, oh, but they deserve it.
We talked about this a bit on the Magic Mirror podcast, and Trinket's a lot more in on the CEDH zone than I am. I like lightly dabble, but like I don't really play it. But Leovold, when he was legal in CEDH, he tore apart the meta because Narset Wheels is actually like viable in CEDH. This is a good game plan. And then on top of that, the best counter to Leovold is Leovold.
I hate that. Yeah, fuck this guy. I hate elves. Fuck elves. All right, limited resources. Each player chooses 5 lands, sacks the rest, and then people can't play anymore. I want it. This is my Ionia, or my Iona.
I think this is unlikely to return.
Does not deserve to be let out, but God, do I want it.
I really, for God's sake, I want to fix limited resources for Commander. Like, each player can't have more than 4 lands, and they sacrifice lands equal to the difference. I'd be so in.
Oh, no. I agree with that. I think we just move on. Fuck that card.
This design, you can't.
Whites are losers.
Lutri's also a non-starter.
Poor Lutri, I think, sums up everything about this. I think, like, we could fix the companion thing. I think we could, like, reprint Lutri 2 playable Boogaloo and just not give him the companion text. But
yeah, well, the thing about Lutri is she's actually like, is it Narumeha? Like, Narumeha exists, and this is like better outside of like wizard synergies. Because this is just Narumeha's enter the battlefield text. So you get an extra color and it's 3 mana. Which, I mean, I think is fine. But like,
well, it's also just dual caster mage. Like, I don't think the card, like, I think the thing that's wrong about the card is, like, if we,
of course, the companion.
Yeah, if we took some white out to the companion box, bro is free yesterday. Like, he is in prison for life on a technicality. And I wish we could get him out, but like, we can't, because what would happen is, like, everyone being like, we deserve to get him out. He would be let out. Every Izzet deck ever, or every deck with red blue ever, would make him their companion. Nothing broken would happen, but we would prove Watsy's point by everybody making him their companion. Like, no deck would choose to not have the companion.
Yeah, it's a free 8th card in your opening hand. Like, come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Poor Lutri. Shout out our boy. And then
Nadu, fuck
him. Yeah, stay buried in the fucking ground. I know that when I talked with Comedian, who very, very good, knowledgeable, and articulate CEDH player, he brought up Nadu, kind of similar to Braids, actually. You could have some interesting play patterns around Nadu in the 99, but anytime somebody sat down with a Nadu commander deck, you knew you were about to have the lamest 30 minutes of your life. And so, like, never let out. I could imagine a conversation if we reintroduced Band as commander. But yeah, Nadu doesn't die. Notably, Ninja, Nadu doesn't die to shock. Nadu doesn't die to lightning bolt. Like, that is a meaningful tier of interaction that he ducks.
Yeah, and your Infernal Grasp gets counterspelled. So
yeah. All right, and then we have Paradox Engine. Fuck this card. I hate the machines.
Listen, I love Dice Factory. That deck is so much fun. Like you always say, Gen Pop is not using this for Dice Factory. They're taking a 20-minute turn.
taking a 20-minute turn that fails to win. What we do is we white out the flavor text and we put in, if you play this card, you must be running every bobblehead and no other artifacts.
White out the flavor text at the beginning of your end step, you lose the game.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'm fucking with you. Okay, let's move on to Prime Time. The boy who I thought this was going to be unbanned. I did too.
I have a copy of it in my binder. I bought one.
You speculated on Prime Time, God.
I bought a single copy. I hate to be a speculator. I bought a single copy of Prime Time.
I still don't think I agree in a world where Prime Time's in jail and Ristic Study isn't, but I am always happy for the green players to have fewer tools. And so, let's see, they see...
You should not unban Primeval Titan right now, but I want them to.
Dog, it's coming wave 2, I swear to you. So this is a thing I thought I was going to be holding back till we talked about the game change ring, but I think Wizards is very aware that this was a really big change for Commander. And I think there's a lot of things where they're like, oh, we want to unban this or we want to move this to the game changer system, but we have to do it in like stages because otherwise it's going to be too big of a shock to the system. I feel like Prime Time's just in line.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I do feel like that, and I'm never selling the one in my binder because it's gonna go in my lands deck someday.
All right.
I know he's gonna come off soon.
He's hey, next fucking what's not
and it's gonna be a
enrollment.
mistake.
It's
gonna be a mistake.
it's gonna be the worst month ever.
It's gonna be a mistake, but I don't care. I want it.
Oh my god. Okay, next we have Prophet of Crufix, which
Fuck this card.
Yeah.
I'll take my 3 time walks now.
Yeah. What if I was allowed to dominate the conversation even more than I already did? Piece of shit. Okay, Recurring Nightmare.
There's some conversation to be had here.
I don't know. This to me feels this feels very similar to the Flash conversation. Not in terms of overall power. Flash is obviously better than this, but I think it's like this only gets better and better the more cards they design, and if it was fucked up before, it is fucked up now.
The art is crazy. Yeah, I see. For those that don't know, this is why we say recursion. This is the card that spawned that terminology. Recurring Nightmare. This is why reanimate like recursion. Anyway, Recurring Nightmare, the problematic play pattern with it is that it's actually really fucking hard to interact with, because if you return it to its owner's hand as part of the cost. So if you try to disenchant this, they just go, okay, great, I'm gonna. Well, you can't disenchant it, but like you play it, you can activate it immediately because you just have priority. So no one gets a window. Other problematic thing about Recurring Nightmare, it's reserved list. And I know Wizards doesn't like to talk about secondary market stuff, but this is a reserve list card. It's $65. If it becomes unbanned in Commander, that thing's gonna spike.
Oh yeah, well I mean I would, and I. Listen, because I shake hands and kiss foreheads and stuff, I want to be so clear that I have not heard this from anybody's mouth. I would just bet any amount of money that even though Wizards doesn't talk about it, they're obviously aware that the secondary market exists, and I would be amazed if it did not color any of their decisions. And so I am inclined to agree with what you're saying. Is they're like, what if we didn't create this like weird financial bomb and open up that reserve list can of worms?
I would love to see a fixed Recurring Nightmare. Like, we already have Chthonian Nightmare, of course, but Recurring Nightmare, as it is right now, maybe bump it up to 4 mana, and then it's also doesn't go to your hand as part of the cost. It's
you just
part of the
move
resolution.
it. Yeah, you move it to the other side of the colon.
Yeah, exactly. That even like without a cost increase, that would change this card so much.
I agree.
So I would love to see that.
All right, and then we have Rafellos, Llanowar Emissary. Somebody commented in one of my YouTube streams being like, how are you going to feel on Tuesday when they unban this card? And I just want to tell that one person, if they're out there, eat shit, bozo. Fuck this guy. I think this guy is an absolute... There's just no reason. I just think flat mistake from a design perspective.
I think the card's very good, obviously. I think in Commander, there's a little bit more of conversation to be had just because of the 3v1 aspect, right? But this guy's not good enough for fucking Vintage Cube anymore. Let that sink in.
Good. I hope he sucks and dies in prison.
Yeah, I for me, quite unironically, I feel like a lot of the play patterns with Rafellos are going to be like Satoru Umezawa, where you're just like, well, I got a mulligan until I find my kill spell.
Yeah, and I think it's the I think the thing is with Elf Ball, and I feel like Rafellos can't be let out of jail until there is a better and more acceptable way to attack mana. I think because they have sheltered brackets 1, 2, and 3 under the bows of we're not going to fuck with your mana on any large scale. That is the true reason we like need to hold Rafellos back, because mana's crazy in Commander, right? It wouldn't solve him for like the other Eternal formats because he is like kind of too slow to make it happen when other people are just jump scaring you with Emrakul. But in Commander, mana's fucking nuts. Mana is fucking insane, and so I
always say mana's better than cards. It's just the truth, because cards have gotten so powerful at this point that one card can fucking ruin your life. So just being able to play that expensive card that blows up the table is way more important than drawing cards, and Rafellos lets you do that.
It's fucked. And then we have Smothering Titan or Sundering Titan.
Good old. Speaking of ways to attack mana, this lets you blow up a land of each basic type when it enters and leaves. Not when it dies. If you flicker this.
Oh no, the dog! Not the fucking Philia Sundering Titan.
It's not when it dies. So if you ephemerate this fuck, you are destroying 5 lands of the basic land types.
Okay, so here's my. So this is where I want to Chris Hansen you for. We talked about Iona and being like, oh, it's fine if I do that because I'm gonna beat you to death with a 7/7. Why is that not fine if I pick the most interesting target, commit terrorism on their land base, and then beat them to death with a 7/10?
This actually doesn't scale to monocolored things like Iona does, though, because you only blow up 1 of each basic land type. So if they have mountain, that's the only choice.
Well, right, but it's still a choice of I get to do massive bike lock style resource denial. It's not against the monocolor players. This time it's actually more against the 5 color players, and so it's like
I'm into Sundering Titan.
So you think
it gets ensnared in the mass mana denial clause. This is going to be in bracket 4 prison.
So you think the mono and 2 color players deserve pain, and the 5 color players deserve protection?
No, I think the 5 color players deserve as much pain as the monocolor players do.
Then this should be your Iona. Then this should be also Iona for you.
This should be unbanned in my opinion. I think.
Okay, yeah. So you are a maniac. Good. All right. I just want to make sure that we are a consistent maniac. Perfect.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine in bracket 4, and that's where it's gonna be. Quite legitimately.
I mean, I think that's true, but. And they even say, like, if brackets increase in adoption. So I think they're holding back because they know, because there are stats they bring up that it's like 54% adopted in the LGSs they talk to. So I can understand why they're hesitant to be like, if the only thing making this okay is a bracket system where roughly half of people have gone for it, we can't let them out into that environment.
God, the chat is so divided on whether or not I'm right.
You're wrong as fuck. Chat is not divided.
I think Sundering Titan is perfectly fine in bracket 4, and that's where it's gonna be. And anyone saying, Elk, I'm so glad you're not in charge of the ban decisions. You're not playing bracket 4.
I mean, the part I disagree with you on is I think if you unbanned this, I don't actually think it would be limited to bracket 4. Like, I think it should be. I think there's a lot of like shoulds in statements that you then enunciate as like ours. There's a lot of should be's that you're like, that's just how it's gonna play, and I'm like, no, that's how it should be played, but people are fucking maniacs. And so in the bad timeline where we got like a tier of game changer, if there was a tier of game changer that was just for bracket 4, I would agree with it for this. But otherwise, no. All right, we gotta fucking move it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sylvan Primordial, we're gonna have the same conversation we did with Sundering Titan, except Sylvan Primordial is like kind of fucked up because it ramps you as well. I think is it any land? No, search library for a forest.
I mean, I feel like that's what if Sundering Titan and Prime Titan had a baby? Yeah, fuck that. Tinker, fucked up, no. Artifact players don't deserve...
Academy, stupid.
The artifact players don't deserve any help, and in fact, they deserve to be unhelped.
Valerian Academy is one of the most broken fucking Magic cards ever made. This card is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So it should not come... Yeah, no, this shouldn't... We're good. I think we all agree.
Trade secrets, unban it for me. Nobody else. I can be trusted.
Yeah, you can.
I can be trusted to use this card. I mean, I think this is like...
Upheaval's also for artifact decks. This doesn't look like an artifact card. This is an artifact card. If you have Mana Vault, like, you know, all the fast mana rocks, Upheaval is an artifact card. This is a finisher. So you bounce everyone's lands and shit, everything like that. You replay your Tolarian Academy, you drop everything else. Like, that's the play pattern in Vintage. And that's not really
yeah, that gets fucked. That gets fucked up. Okay, moving on to trade secrets. So Op draws 2, you draw 4, but they can just let you win if they want to. I mean, there is some level of table self-regulation where like it gets better as the table gets better, but I think it's the same as Dockside, where despite that it still sucks all the time. Not for the same reasons, but ugh.
You and target player win the game.
Yeah. You and target player get to see who can win the stack war against each other, and then the game ends.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said that Upheaval with Mana Crypt banned, it's way better. And like, yeah, a Glock with 7 bullets instead of 8 is also way worse, you know?
At least they're not hollow points, buddy. Pop, pop. Yeah, fuck that card. Hey, Yawgmoth's Bargain. Turns out 1 life is, in fact, a worthwhile rate for 1 card. Big shocker. Oracle of Delphi back next week.
Fuck. It's like, if with Necropotence in the format, though. Like, this isn't... The thing with this versus Gristlebrand is Gristlebrand's a creature. And creature is way easier to get back than enchantment. I don't know. There's, like, some play with this, but honestly, I think it should just remain banned, because I don't think it gives much to the format.
No, and I think, like, the noticeable difference between it and Necropotence is Necropotence, you're at least doing it face down, so you have to, like... You have to guess a little bit. This is just you going like, do I win yet? 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 Okay, cool. Die. So yeah, fuck that. Okay, now we're done with that. I'm going to end this recording and start the new recording.
Beautiful.
So let's go to the other article. Oh, wait, we have to blast our viewers with ads again. Hold on, everybody.
Yeah, I almost forgot to.
Death Ray. We're going to the new Game Changers now, Drunk Wizard. So everybody, hold on. We're gonna do manual ad breaks so that we don't get hit with pre-rolls or mid-rolls while we're talking about the new Game Changers.
Good job. The Dr. John subscribed literally 1 second before I pressed the ad button.
Oh, quick with it. Absolute.
And error 40 pound. Thank you for the Prime sub as well.
Hell yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of when I start playing ads, I get like a peak in subs. Cam W with the Prime sub.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. I mean, the like manual ad breaks are just infinitely better for any stream that you're actively fucking managing. Let's fucking go, Kaiser Crab. I'm a goddamn hero.
No.
But like, I think if you're doing any type of stream where there are ebbs and flows in the action, doing manual ads will not only like motivate, it will also just show people that you give a shit. We care about your entertainment, and we care about only bombing you with the very mandatory Twitch ads in times where you're not going to be missing the good stuff.
Thank you, Gecko Gamer 1997.
Holy shit, Gecko. That's my
Nissa
guy.
Flame Color. I don't think Nissa's the Flame Color. I think that's Chandra. A little bit of stolen valor from Nissa there.
Hey, they rubbed off on each other.
No, they definitely did some rubbing.
Metaskipper, Maltown, do you get higher pay per ad during higher viewership / engagement segments? I wouldn't know, because I do not make enough ad money from Twitch for it to be worth paying any attention to.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever made from a stream is $2. And that's with like 97 viewers on average for that stream.
Yeah, like YouTube's different. YouTube, God bless you all. Your ad revenue means something. I care about you all more because of that. On Twitch, it's literally like I could have big explosive, biggest stream of my life, and I would get like $6 to $8 in ad revenue. It just doesn't.
Ape of Justice with the tier 1 sub.
Ape's my guy. Ape's the fucking goat. Red Molehill, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. Yeah, we're about YouTube chat. We're about to move on to all the new stuff that got added to the Game Changers list, because they also put out an update about the bracket system at large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be adding Iona to my two-headed giant cube, though.
Oh my god, of course you are.
In two-headed giant cube, it's kind of fun, though.
I could see it being much more in two-headed giant where you're planning it. I think that is like the best home for Iona. I could believe that when you get to conspire with somebody else about it, that could make it kind of funny.
Yeah. For me, it's like, holy shit. It's also cool because you have 2 opponents and they're probably not going to share a color. So you choose which opponent to shut off.
Yeah. Now it's a 2v1, just like Fortnite.
Welcome back from ads, everybody.
Zombie Token, thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome back to the doghouse. Okay, so let's, I guess, broad strokes of the Commander Brackets update is, it kind of seems to me like they were like, this rocks, no changes, because we want to wait for more adoption. I don't know if you, I don't know if you've read the bulk of the article, but he was basically just like, seems like most people are happy. We're going to keep waiting until we make any like huge overarching updates to the brackets themselves. But now that we've gotten some buy-in, we're fucking it up with Game Changers.
Yeah, I think, looking at these Game Changers, I don't know if there is one that I disagree with.
Oh no, this is like, in my mind, full A+. Full A+.
Yeah.
Everything they put on the Game Changer list, you know your fucking buttholes about it. I think you know you're a criminal, and if you're sad that it got put on the Game Changer list, there's probably just like a little bit of sadness on like, damn, I had a deck that was skating in bracket 3 and is now in bracket 4 jail, and now I have to take out one of my messed up engines. I do want to touch on the delistings, because they freed our guy Trouble in Pairs. You are now allowed to use stolen artwork as a value engine in your commander deck.
They need to reprint this fuck with some new artwork for sure.
Which I'm kind of on. Like, I think Trouble in Pairs is quite good. However, I do think it is clearly a bridge over from like Rhystic Study smothering type things.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not as strong. It's definitely a step up from a Mangara, the Diplomat, but and it's definitely like pretty great, but and it's in my opinion, I think it's a little boring of a value engine.
Oh yeah, true. Like, this is like, you've been brought into the emergency room and the doctor is just like, I need adrenaline stat, I need a mono white value engine, this motherfucker can't draw any cards, clear. And then they put Trouble in Pairs into your deck, and now you have like a chance of having agency.
I've been significantly fucking mind rotted by Eldrazi though, because I see that first sentence and I immediately think about fucking the Emrakul like promised end, like mind control someone, but they don't get the extra turn after.
Oh yeah, I keep a Trouble in Pairs in my pocket if I'm even gonna be in the same city as Joe Johnson, and I just fucking whip that shit out.
Yeah, I'm down for this delisting. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I also like the Trinisphere one.
Yeah, It's
this
kind
doesn't
of
do
like
fuck against Jatath.
Right. It's kind of like I've never been hurt by a Trinisphere, and so I don't have strong feelings. It's like I don't know who this got let out of jail for. I don't know who's specifically, because it was just a game changer and not banned. I don't know whose bracket 2 deck needed Trinisphere, but I'm happy for you. Ball out.
Yeah, fucking bracket 2 games. You're playing against like Edgar Markov, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, their 2-mana vampire now costs 3. The horror. Where you get fucking kneecapped by Trinisphere is when you start moving up into 4 and 5.
Yeah.
That's where you get fucked by this guy.
Is it player gets told to sit down, please? Which I think, like, in bracket 2, having having a card that effectively says, hey, please don't storm in my Uber, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then now there's 18 motherfuckers we're putting in, all of which are hits. If you disagree with any of these, you are just wrong, and we can take 60 seconds to talk about it, but you are wrong.
Yeah, Fairy's Protection was one I was begging for.
Yeah, fuck Tef Pro. I think that was, and I kind of view this as when they first came out with the brackets and with the Game Changers list, they knew, oh, if we do too much, everyone's going to go, I ain't reading all that. Sorry that happened, or happy for you, whichever one floats your boat. And so I feel like this is just phase 2 of stuff they knew was going on to the Game Changers list.
As someone who plays Teferi's Protection in basically all my white decks, this card is very fucking good. And I do not feel guilty about running it so long as Cyclonic Rift is legal and Farewell is legal in the format.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm vanishing. Part of me wishes that Farewell got game changered just because Teferi's Protection for a creature deck is one of the main ways you can kind of fight against Farewell. And Farewell is what... This is the main thing about Farewell. Farewell's not a strong card. All right? It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely good. And in the right shell, it can be decent.
Sorry, did you say Farewell's worse than Opt? Can I get that for the VOD? Can I get
yeah, Farewell's worse than Opt. Okay, great. No, but Farewell... The thing with it is it's disproportionately better at lower brackets. It's better against the dinosaur player at bracket 2 without combos. It's better against the merfolk deck at bracket 2 with no combos, right? It doesn't really affect bracket 3 and above because they're packing the Teferi's Protection. They're packing the interaction for it, the counter spells, right? So it kind of sucks that like Farewell is healthy, I think, actually a card, but it's not healthy in the lower power zones where it can blow people out just because they wanted to play like a tribal deck or something, or a creature matter deck, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that most people would be happier if they were forced at gunpoint to replace Farewell with Austere Command.
Yeah,
like I think if most people were just like, hey, you're gonna sit down, look at your deck list, and decide what modes of Austere Command work for you, it would be a better day for all of us. Hot anime moms, thank you for the 8 months at tier 1. Big Grizz, stuck in gay baby jail, # free my man. Listen, you're wrong, but the world revolves around crazy people, and I'm glad you're in my chat. Shout out you. DMC, thank you for the 100 bits. Just play Guardian of Faith if you're worried about Farewell. Listen, let's tamp down all just play X if you're worried about Y. It will make me scream.
Yeah, to be clear, you should probably have both. I like Guardian of Faith a lot. I like that you can Court of Calling for it. That's a really interesting play pattern where you have like your board and you go like, oh, you're gonna board wipe me? Oh no! And then you like tap all your creatures. Here's my Guardian of Faith. It's really funny.
One day you're gonna start a sentence with "I really like insert creature," and it's not going to end with "because you can tutor it with insert other card." And I'm gonna be so happy, but it's not today. It's not today that's happening.
Yeah, Teferi's Protection though, very happy it's game changered. It should not belong in the lower brackets. I just wish Farewell tagged along with it.
I don't know. I think I have a weird position on Farewell because of my privilege, but I have been lucky enough that every time I have had a Farewell personally resolved in a commander game I'm playing, it's been fucking awesome. And so I just have like such weird rose-colored glasses because I know it's wrong. But it's the same way that you think about Iona, I think about Farewell when I'm like, oh, but every time I've seen it happen, it's actually been like pretty fucking poggers. It's been pretty fucking dope.
Ah, nice. Oh, sorry, I got a raid.
Oh yeah.
And Laser, I got 2 back-to-back raids. Very fun.
Clap for the raid.
Hell yes. But yeah, no, for me, it's like, where are you resolving Farewell Mauled? What deck are you running it in?
I don't even run it. I'm just clapping when other people run it. Like that, and that is also why I don't feel like I can forgive it, because I mostly don't play white. I just generally dislike the color. Like I will splash green into stuff I like before I start splashing white into stuff I like. But like, and again, it's also not happened very many times. So I know that my sample size is low, and I know that my sample size is typically with people that I already have a rapport with, which is why I know I'm wrong. And that's why, like, for instance, why I'm better than you with your take on Iona, but every time I've had my friend who plays white resolve a farewell, I've been like, yeah, all creatures should go away right now, actually. I'm super.
Yeah, no,
and then,
I have been in
like,
games before where I'm like, I wish I had a farewell right now. Like,
right,
absolutely.
And more importantly, I've had a ton of bad games that would have been saved by a farewell. I've never had one of those games that I know exist. I'm not erasing all of your experiences on the internet, but I've never had one of those games where somebody casts farewell and it makes the game stall. But I've had a ton of board stalls where farewell would have broken it, and I'm like kicking myself for not running white.
Where I'm mostly mad at farewell is it kind of blinds people to the better options for their deck.
Yeah.
I agree farewell has a lot of healthy shells. I like farewell in planeswalker decks, in artifact decks, and enchantment decks where you can one-side it. You shouldn't be putting in your fucking angels deck where you're trying to beat people to death.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You should winds of abandon your opponent's flyers and kill them. That should be the goal. I think I don't like the all modes Andy, who I have run into.
Okay, see, and I've yet to hit the all modes Andy myself, but I know they exist, which is why I'm not like a loud farewell's great shouter.
Yeah, your board wipe should break parity, not create it. Like, which sounds weird, but honest to God, you should come out ahead from your own board wipe, and if you don't, you're kind of stalling out the game. Yeah. Yeah,
every time. There was a reason, like I did a ninjas deck where I think I ended up, and this was like a 15-minute throw together build. The only board wipes I put in were like Plague Winds and Garruk's Uprising, and then like Kindred Dominance. But I was just like, my board is gonna be like 2/3s. If I board wipe, I need my stuff to still be here. Thank you very much. But yeah, like all modes Andy and people who are just going like, oh, I need a board wipe. I pick farewell. That sucks.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, let's move on to Trinket
Humility,
Mage's favorite card.
Khan's dead. He's floating down. He's floating face down in the river. But this for sure deserves to be bracket 3. For sure deserves to be a game changer. Just
if you showed this to a dinosaur player at bracket 2, they would jump off a building.
They explode, yeah. Awkward Giraffe, thank you for the 500-bit cheer. I think all the Game Changer editions make sense. It's just weird seeing so many cards at Game Changer tier. First of all, thank you for that contribution to the dog pile. Second of all, I think it's only going to get more and more. I think this is like... I think the Game Changer list will eventually be triple digit.
Yeah, I do think so too. I think 100 should be the cap. I feel like that's like you can meaningfully manage that. Also, I do want to address Mythocast BM in chat. Mad, just destroy it. I agree with you. Yeah, you do just destroy it. The problem is at bracket 2, I don't think it's going to get destroyed as often as you think. I think this does deserve to be bracket 3 just because of that interaction window.
Yeah, like a lot of people think getting Game Changered is like calling a card broken, where I just think of it as like, hey, please keep this away from the pre-con players. Exactly. That's what game changing is to me, is like, hey, please don't go near the children with this. You're not allowed to play this card near a middle school, is what the Game Changer list is. Like, they're just kids, man. They don't know how to handle it. And I think that also follows for like Narset Parter of Veils, which is just humility, but for the blue decks.
Yeah, speaking of...
Blue humility. Your opponents can't draw cards. And then like the -2 is useful, but is really just like an immeasurably small...
It's a super divination.
Yeah. But everyone...
My tax piece comes with the draw 2? Hell yeah.
Yeah, but everyone I've played, it's like, it's that first sentence, and the rest is just like, ooh, and I get to stroke my beard diabolically as I laugh at you having a very bad time.
Good old Orcish Bowmasters, or as I like to call it, Plague Wind.
Plague Wind at home, the Orcish Bowie. And then we have Intuition, which this coming up for Gifts Ungiven coming down, I think is just makes sense because these cards are so close to each other. Like, it would just be so weird if they were like, Gifts Ungiven is a game changer, Intuition is fine though. And so this was this is like clerical adjustment more than anything else. The Consecrated Sphinx, immediately yes. This was just like, honestly, the next like fucking the next all of them, but like Consecrated Sphinx, so weird that this wasn't considered a game changer.
I think I could see a world in like half a decade Consecrated Sphinx comes off the list.
I don't want to live in that world. I think that's a world of like burning buildings and nuclear fallout.
I think it's gonna get like Gifts Ungiven in the future. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be like, this is cute nowadays. And then we like draw 12 with like a 3-mana cantrip or something. Like...
Shut up. Ancestraler Recall. Yeah, I don't think that's happening, but it does. I don't think it's that crazy. It's 6 mana, doesn't have any immediate effect. You see, that is again the core disconnect between like, oh, I think game changers are fucked up strong cards, versus like, please don't bring this near the middle schoolers. Like, you know what also doesn't have an immediate effect? Rhystic Study.
Yeah, like I think
fucking this, what are we talking about?
This should, I agree. Levitate this above precon. Don't, like, this is perfectly healthy at a bracket 3 game where you play this, I untap, upkeep, I Swords to Plowshare before my draw step. Like, that's what's going to happen at bracket 3. That's not happening at bracket 2. Bracket 2, this is 6 mana, draw 6. I have a 4/6 flying blocker, and then it's going to get even worse.
Yeah, like, I've had, I've not put this in many decks myself, but I have played with this in, like, content decks, and it is a fucked up, abysmal good card. Like, God forbid it takes a turn rotation to answer this. Like, no, Evil Dead, the people jumping on Kaiser about why it's still busted, like, you could land drop into this and it's a crazy good card. If you think turn 6 Consecrated Sphinx is a bad play, you just exist in a like different level of gameplay from the middle schoolers, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with exclusively playing pretty high power Magic, but if you just fucking like mana rock, if you cultivate into this motherfucker and it takes somebody, like, you have to pass to the player before you to remove it, that's 6 cards you got out of one spell. God forbid you get to untap with him.
Yeah,
it's like it's good.
And it's kind of like a fault to like be comparing game changers to one another, because that's not the point of the list. These aren't all equal power cards. Of course, Rhystic Study is better than Consecrated Sphinx.
Right.
That's not the point of the list. Yeah, this guy's arrested for axe murder and this guy manslaughter. Like, they're still both in prison.
Yeah, like, it's just a crazy good card, and the scale of stuff you do with this is so far removed from like the scale of stuff you're doing with, for the most part, precon cards, in terms of like as a one card thing by itself. Like, some precon level stuff can get up to crazy amounts of card advantage if you make like 4 different creatures all kiss at once, but Consecrated Sphinx is just like, turn 4, turn 5, I have a million more resources than you do, and I never miss a land drop. So it's good.
I don't know if you've noticed all. This is sort of like secondary market kind of stuff, but like, after a thing gets game changers, it's like spikes in price. Which you think it'd be the opposite, right? This is just something I noticed over time. I think it's because they're getting the green light to play it. You know what I mean?
I think it's actually because a lot of players will, like, I have spoken with a bunch of people who, since the advent of the bracket system, will go, oh, if I need to upgrade my deck, the first thing I look at is the game changers list. Like, it is a hot sheet of what are fucked up good cards in my colors. And so people just go to the game changers list, and then they go like, I'm in blue and my deck needs to be better. I'm going to get now Consecrated Sphinx, which is bad, which is not like a thing I recommend, but I know people are doing it. All right, so Sphinx deserves it. Necropotence, like, hey, shout out the art they picked for the Necropotence, but also flatly ridiculous that Necropotence wasn't on the game changers list to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. This is just so obvious.
I think kind of Orcish Bowmasters kind of has the like scale to the table type card advantage, except for the case of the Nekusar players, and I'm fine with Orcish Bowmasters getting game changered just for the Nekusar players who think they're funny for being like, oh yeah, this is my bracket 2 Nekusar Wheels deck. Shut up, man. Just shut up. We know you're lying.
Enjoy your underworld dreams, man. Have fun.
Enjoy. Yeah, come on. play Mono Red Shieldred and fucking put the second place finish in the bag.
Deflecting spot, I have a funny story for.
Oh, perfect. Let's just breeze past Notion Thief as like flat yes, neutral tone.
Of course.
Yeah, quite good.
Yeah, like these are in line with my expectations.
All right, now tell the SWAT story.
So, deflecting SWAT, me and Mulder are in a creator Discord where we kind of yap about stuff, and Rebel and Attack on Cardboard are in there, and we were talking about the game changers when they were first revealed, like the game changers list in the bracket system, and me and Khan were like, why isn't deflecting SWAT on the game changers list? And Rebel, and I quote, said, oh, I think we just missed that one.
The shadowy overlords looking at the list of free cast commander spells just went, oh, fuck!
Oh, I think we just missed that one. The panel are human too, okay? They're allowed to miss cards here and there.
Well, and more importantly, I think when they were looking at like, oh, what do we need to trim back? Everybody just sped past red so quickly. That's just a color. They were just like, oh, do we have to worry about red? Nah. We got Jeweled Lotus. We killed red already.
Yeah, this card's ridiculous, and it's often better than the blue one in this cycle that I forget the name of.
Fierce Guardianship.
Fierce Guardianship, yeah. I often think Deflecting SWAT is better than Fierce Guardianship because it's often card advantage.
Yeah, I think in a lot of cases I would agree with that. Because Fierce Guardianship is very specifically like combo protection. If you're not using that as like protecting your own combo, like it's a lot narrower than deflecting SWAT versus like if when you play the game commander you intend to resolve your commander, deflecting SWAT is really good for you.
Yeah, deflecting SWAT is kind of combo protection though in a stack war. Because you can do the repointing of counter spells and stuff. So but like, yeah, I do think at bracket 2 this is better than a Fierce Guardianship, which is what this is.
Yeah, and I should have been more specific. Deflecting SWAT is also great combo protection. Fierce Guardianship, I'm saying, is basically only useful as combo protection. Whereas SWAT, you can protect a combo with it. You can just be like, oh well, my commander provides me value, and I'm going to try to use it to like unremove it. Versus Fierce is like the times I've seen it, even though Fierce hits non-creatures, which most removal is, the times I've seen Fierce be useful is for, I am comboing off right now, and I am stopping you from uncomboing me.
Yeah, so listen, I used to be on the bandwagon that all free spells should be banned. That was like years ago. Now
and then you started tutoring.
Well, then I started tutoring, and also it's like I played a lot more Eternal formats outside of Commander, and the cost of actually force of willing someone is tangible. It like pitch spells, the flares, they have tangible costs despite being free, right? They don't cost mana, but they cost advantage. And of course, if the blue player draw 40 cards, then it doesn't matter anymore. But if the blue player drew 40 cards, they're just gonna win anyway. But yeah, I'm not saying that these should be in Gen Pop or anything, but I'm saying that of the free spells, these are the most egregious. The control a commander one, because that's just shit you're doing naturally. Exiling a blue spell from your hand, that's kind of a cost.
Yeah, the control a commander ones feel like the landfall of alternate cost spells, in the sense of like, in what fucking world were you gonna not cast the commander, man? Of course you control a commander. You're never gonna be like,
oh no.
I really, in most situations, I really wouldn't want to bring Tiamat out, but I guess to turn on deflecting SWAT, I'll do it.
By the way, if you want a card that actually incentivizes big mana commanders, it's the free spells and not Jeweled Lotus. Like, these have done more for expensive commanders than Jeweled Lotus ever could.
Oh yeah, tap out for your commander and then just have these to be like, well, you can still play Magic a little bit.
It should say if you control a commander with mana value 9 or greater, they're free to cast.
Okay, next we have Gamble, and Worldly Tutor, which I think, like, the 1-mana tutors, this all makes sense to me. I think that is coherent.
I am so fucking glad they put crop rotation on
this
list.
My god, right? Like, I think it's... I saw some defenders in chat early on in the stream that were like, but what if I'm just turning my forest into a triome? None of you are doing that. Don't lie to me.
None of you
Don't bullshit me. You could. You might do it on camera when you're trying to submit footage to the judge for why you shouldn't be sent to Siberia for playing crop rotation. However, pretty much anything worthwhile you're doing with this deck or with this card is like, keep it away from the pre-con players, please.
All right. I am going to pull this up right now. This is in a mono green deck, mind you. We're not even doing Sajiri Step or fucking Bazooka Bog bullshit with the crop rotation. And that's what it is. It is bullshit. In a mono green deck, what does this build your own charm do? It loses hexproof and shroud until end of turn off Arcane Lighthouse. It can ramp with Castle Garenbrig for my creatures. It can get Dark Depths or Thespian Stage to make it 20/20, either half. Big Game, Field of the Dead. Glacial Chasm, it turns it into a fog. High Market turns it into a sacrifice outlet for creatures. And we're not done yet, because there's fucking Talon Gates of Madara, Bounce Spell, Protection Spell, Rogue's Passage, your blockers don't matter anymore. This card does everything. Even Pit of Offerings, it's Graveyard Hate, even in mono green without the Bazooka Bog. It does too much. It does everything. It's a fun toolbox, I agree. It should not be in 2, though.
Yeah, like, it is phenomenal and is probably one of, like, the first things you should be looking at if you have a bracket 3 deck and you have a, like, pretty optimized utility land base. But keep this shit away from the middle schoolers, dog. Like, that's always the line for me, is it's like, why are we throwing this shit at a 9-year-old and telling them to figure it out?
That deck is bracket 4 already with just lands. No, I only have 2 game changers in the lands now, because Field of the Dead in there, which we'll get to soon.
And then Seedborn Muse, which, like, yeah, fuck this card. I think without a, like, there are decks that have played fair Seedborn Muses. I don't think nope, that's not true. It's not you.
Farrakha.
Oh my god, don't
I used this to activate Farrakha a bunch.
That's good. What the fuck do you mean?
I didn't have creatures in my graveyard to exile to it, but yeah, no.
Shut your butt.
Okay, listen. I think if blue didn't exist, this card would not be game changer. Blue is a color.
Oh yeah, it would be playing a different game. What?
No, I agree with Gabe. By the way, Seedborn Muse should absolutely be a game changer. Do not mince my words
I
here.
think if we eliminated this whole axis of the play system, then it would be pretty fair for me to go further on this other axis of the play system. Don't you all agree? I'll shut up.
Yeah, no, Blue's the problem, not Seedborn Muse, but Seedborn Muse does have to die for that crime.
Yeah, Seedborn Muse does have to die for being affiliated with Simic. Yes, Poglet, peak if your grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike moment. And then Natural Order, which, yes, I agree.
Myth for 4 mana.
Yeah, just get any creature for the low price of having a Llanowar elf is like quite good. Is it the most broken thing ever? No. Is it always going to win the game on the spot? No. However, quite good. Keep it away from the 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
Food chain, fuck this card. This is like a card where I feel like this is a clerical thing of I don't even think we needed to game changer it because it was definitely covered by social constraints, but I think this is like dotting I's, crossing T's.
I agree. I think no bracket 2 players like, no, my food chain.
My fair. Yeah, hold on. Oh, are you sure you don't want to tell us about your fair food chain deck? Are you sure you don't want to tell us about your fair food chain deck real quick?
My fair food chain deck is I resolve Pithing Needle on turn 1 and I name food chain with it and I have to blow it up before I'm allowed to start comboing. No, a food chain. No one's using this to do anything but combo.
Yeah. Okay, and then Aura Shards, which...
Fuck this magic card! This shit fucking... I hate this magic card! This is a trauma response. No, but fucking immediately, yes. This should not be fucking allowed.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy good. We're all playing creatures. Let's not be... I love the 2 back-to-back chats.
You don't even have to play creature ball! You don't even have to play creatures, it's tokens too!
Whatever. I love the 2 back-to-backs. Aura Shards is a fair card into Aura Shards is a fucking war crime. Fuck that card. You can see all the enchantment and all the artifact players. Like, I think it deserves to be here. I have no immediate response to Aura Shards because the most valuable artifact I've ever played is fucking Talisman of Creativity. I'm just like, this can't hit Gutter Snipe. And Elk is just like shattered like glass.
People are like, Iona stops you from playing the game. Aura Shard stops you from playing the game. What if every single spell had fucking Vindicate attached to it? How does that make you feel? What if every token was fucking Reclamation Sage? How about that?
How would you feel about a more expensive non-token only Aura Shards?
It exists, and it's also kind of bullshit. It's called Quasali Slingers. It's a 5-mana thing. It's only when cats enter, and that card's still good.
When cats come in, they knock shit off the shelf.
Yeah, that card's still decent.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
There's a sliver version of Aura Shards, and that card's fucked up.
Well, the sliver version of every card is fucked up. I think let's be clear about that as well. Then we have Field of the Dead, which fuck this card.
Dude,
I think
the zombies enter untapped.
It's exactly where I was gonna go with it too. The zombies are basically pre-Seedborn Mused, which, as we've covered, deserves to be on the Game Changers list. I think it's more of like, if you have taken the time to get your mana base up to par to make this a workable inclusion, you're probably on bracket 3. Just like as a heuristic.
Sure.
I think you are a liar if you tell me my mana base is manicured enough that Field of the Dead is useful, but the rest of my deck is incoherent enough to qualify as bracket 2. Like, I don't think that exists. If you build the land base and then you have an actual middle schooler build the rest of the deck, then I kind of believe you have a bracket 2 Field of the Dead. But otherwise, no.
Yeah, I think you're bracket 3 if you even like spend more than 5 minutes on a mana base.
Oh yeah.
Like you're in bracket 3 firmly. I run this in my mono green deck, Kura Boundless Sky, and I think the most common question is like, why are you running Centaur Garden and Command Tower in your mono green deck? And I'm like, I'm running this land that pings me and Command Tower in my mono green deck because Field of the Dead. And I'm warping my mana base that much for this card, which really tells you something about it. Don't even get me started on fucking Vesuva Thespian staging it. You have 3 copies of fucking Field of the Dead. Scape shift. Here comes the zombies. So
and then
yeah, no.
And we have Durpin saying, what if I have every tap land and my win con is solely Field of the Dead? So this is then Gavin Verhey saving you from yourself. That deck deserves to die. I'm as an advocate for your happiness. If you have a deck that is every tap land, your only way to win is Field of the Dead, that is bad and wrong, or that deck at least deserves the support to qualify as bracket 3 anyway. If you were telling me
I'm gonna posit that the deck that was just suggested is actually fucking good. I think Field of the Dead is that broken.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, if you think you have a bracket, I agree with you in that if you think you have a bracket 2 version of that deck, you have probably just kneecapped it in spots it doesn't deserve to be kneecapped. Because if you did like all the Aftermath Analyst, like a self-mill Golgari land recursion, or even like the Absent, the Necrobloom motherfucker, there's so many ways to make Field of the Dead is my only win con cranked, and all of those decks are bracket 3. And if you're like, no, mine's bracket 2 or mine's bracket 1, you're a liar. I love you. I'm telling you that like you pissed on the floor of the kitchen and you're trying to tell me a dog broke in and did it, and as your dad, no it didn't, but I still love you. But we got to clean it up.
I love lying for fun.
Yeah. And then Mishra's Workshop is just, hey, if you're an artifact player, eat shit. I don't know what to tell you.
I like this one being Game Changer is a little strange to me because it's reserve list. So you know the people who have a Mishra's Workshop, they're already doing fucked up shit with it. They're already in bracket 4. So this change is kind of nothing to me, but I guess it just stops people from going like, here's my proxy Mishra's Workshop in my artifact deck.
Yeah, I think there's a growing proxy movement, and I think it's good that they're, if anything, that gives me, that's my little bit of copium that I'm huffing about the reserve list eventually getting action after they get enough of the rest of the game into a position where we could handle not having a reserve list.
Yeah.
And yeah, land, as Laser Williams said, lands get proxied without blinking. I think of all the conversations people have about what can be proxy, if it's not Gaia's Cradle, most people will okay a land proxy before they will okay like, oh, I put Valgavoth, or oh, like I proxied like the Praetors for my Hashatan deck, versus like, oh yeah, I proxied OG duels and stuff so that I could tap lands for mana. People go, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Card's not changed. Farewell's number 1. I'm happy to read it.
Oh, Farewell is number 1. Yeah, I agree. Alms Collector.
Alms Collector?
They even said nobody asked about this, but we thought about it, and so we want to tell you that we thought about it. Notably, combos with Kasali Slingers. So pretty
sure,
good, yeah.
Good old. I'm surprised. I thought Mana Drain was a game changer.
No. Gavin really does not think one-time benefits are good. Gavin's really like, what? You get the mana once. Come on.
I mana drained a spell into like a Coma Cosmos Serpent recently, and I'll tell you right now that mana drain definitely warped the rest of that fucking game.
Yeah, no, man, they're wrong about mana drain, for sure. Because it's not the strongest in mid to late game. It's the strongest into anybody else who is not responsible about trying to use rituals. Like, that's what it is. I've seen this get used by somebody tried to turn 3 Toxrill, and it got mana drained, and then that player won the fucking game. The mana drain player.
Gotta say, I very frequently see the mana drain counter spell float all the mana and then it goes away. I've seen a lot of people just not have the spell for that. But man, let me tell you, SOC monsters is fucking built different.
Oh no!
I always have a fuck stranded in my hand. By the way, someone just claimed the first channel point reward right now. That's crazy.
Jeez.
We're like 2 hours into the stream.
And then, okay, so Mystic Remora, I think this is just like kind of flatly wrong. I agree with their reasoning that it has an element of self-regulation, because if you play this at like a bracket, if you turn 1 Mystic Remora at bracket 2, you will draw like 1 card across 3 turns and then have to sacrifice it to cumulative upkeep. So yeah, it does kind of self-regulate, but I feel like it does.
I feel like you can run into that bracket 2 Enchantress player, and this is super Ancestral Recall.
Mm-hmm. And so I feel like it deserves. I don't think it's like bracket 4 jail, but I do think it deserves the hey, keep this away from the bracket 2. Masons, yes. If you play Braids as commander, you are bad people. In 99, you are okay.
Yeah. Force of Will. We talked about removing Force of Will from the Game Changers list.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think there's enough salt with Force of Will that it should stay.
I think there's enough good effect with Force of Will that you keep it.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too. It's just like, of the free counter spells, I unironically think Force of Will's like kind of low on the list nowadays with Fierce Guardianship deflecting SWAT.
Yes,
but like,
that is true.
It's still pretty fucking great.
Wheels all belong on the Game Changer list IMO. All right, everybody, be calm. We are witnessing insanity. We are going to deal with them patiently.
No, wheels are actively bad unless you're doing the Narset bullshit.
Yeah.
Now all the Narsets have been game changered except for Alms fucking Collector. So.
White needs it. White needs it. Cats need it. And even Alms Collector isn't turning it off. It's just. And that player draw a card. Right. It's capping it, but it's not going. Which is, I think, different from Narset being like, how about you go fuck yourself? It's still like, oh, you were going to draw 3, draw 1, I draw 1. Like something squeaks out of there. But anyway, back to the wheels. No, Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune are unfortunately awesome and should never be game changered.
I sadly agree, as someone who really hates being like forcefully mulligans. These are totally fine on their own. Once again, once you start doing the degenerate shit, then of course, but the degenerate shit's all on the fucking Game Changers list anyway, so this doesn't have to join it there.
And then Grave Pact, Dictate of Erebos. I unfortunately agree. So these are the cards where I have played against Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos many, many times. I have never, ever played into one where it was good, and I have only ever played into one where it turned our commander game into a nap session. So that's my personal trauma response, and even then, every time it happened, I was like, this is my fault. I let this happen. I didn't mulligan to my removal to my counter spells, and I allowed them to do this to me.
Yeah, I'm happy not to see these game changered. Once again, we have the Mazarek play pattern I talked about before with Braids, where it's like these go ham in a Mazarek deck. Holy shit. Suddenly all of your sacrifices turn into 4 triggers on the Mazarek. That's hilarious. And that kills people. Yeah. As well. So like, why should we be punishing this player?
Yeah. So like these cards do suck, but I think they suck and are just like so painfully interruptible. Like they are begging for you to trip them as they run down the hallway with scissors.
Oh yeah.
And then, okay, Necro Dominance. I think is
it's not good. This card's actively, I don't think, the best. Where this card shines is in 60 card formats where you have a lot of instant speed shenanigans you get to do for free, and you get to play playsets of them. So you get soul spikes and shit, right? You just like dome you for 4, right? Like that's the play pattern with Necro Dominance. The maximum hand size is 5 thing is fucking real. This drawing cards is very good for things like Shieldred, right? Where you go up on life. But the thing is, it's also a downside because you get hit by Bowmasters, right? So in the world where we are moving up to bracket 3, you're fucked with Necrodominance. In bracket 2, where you don't have Shieldred and these kinds of things, well, you might have Shieldred, but basically you pay like 20 life into this. You draw 20 cards, you get to keep 5 of them.
And you permanently explode any recursion potential with the...
and the goodwill cost of playing this card is like you're in the
gun. Yeah, you're getting killed forever. It doesn't. You could show me the 5 you kept, and they could all be basic lands, and I'll be like, maybe you got like a Mission Impossible face mask on them. All right, and then holy shit, Craterhoof. This has to be just like, hey, to everybody who thought Craterhoof Behemoth should be a game changer. You're not good at Magic. Sorry. I still love you. I play bad Magic. I love playing bad Magic. Terminally fair. Craterhoof Behemoth is so terminally fair. So yeah, this is, as much as I hate green, they do deserve this.
Yeah, hitting natural order instead of the Behemoth is like just such the obvious choice, and I'm so happy we live in this world. The great fucking henge. There's no way people think this deserves to be banned.
This is green grave pack to me, in the sense of I've absolutely had this take over games in terms of card draw, and every time I have been like, I had so many chances. I had so many chances to live in a different world than the world where Great Henge is killing me right now, and I'm so fucking mad that by my choices I live in the bad timeline.
Yeah, no, like, for me, this is as absurd as seeing fucking Beast Whisperer right here. Right? That's how I feel about seeing Great Henge right here.
Henge is broken. Identified the wrong person. I'm even gonna go with the like specific dies to removal argument, but there's just like so many avenues for this not to be broken.
Yeah, Henge is expensive, and I think that's the one thing that makes this not be Beast Whisperer showing up right here. I think if Henge was like $2, this card would not be showing up right now on this thing. And that Wizards of the Coast would never say it out loud. Henge is boring. We're not arguing that Henge is interesting.
Oh yeah, Behemoth is also boring, but like so is going to bed on time, and so is flossing. That doesn't mean that we want to fucking ban those. Like I am a huge advocate for cutting these cards for things that are more interesting if they also win. But I want to drive one point home, which is that it is way better to have an interesting mid game and a boring end game than to fucking flounder because you were too deep up your own ass looking for a like cinematic win con.
Yeah.
Like if you can get interesting mid game and cinematic win con, that is peak. But if you think about it, like think about your commander game like a war movie that you like or a fantasy movie that you like. At the end of everything, one person just shoots another person and we fade to black. All this cool shit happens in the middle. You fall in love with the characters in the middle. At the end of the day, it's just motherfuckers stabbing each other. And when we get to the end of the game, we have to like accept that
it's over.
We have to accept that it's done. And it happened and we still had fun, even if the end wasn't like this unique, original, never happened before thing ever. Even though cards like Henge are, yes, terminally boring value engines, but they're not broken just because they are sauceless.
Mauled, actually, All Quiet on the Western Front would have been a better piece of American literature if it actually ended with a 20-minute long fight scene instead of a. If he started dying of consumption very slowly instead of it ending, it would have been a way better book.
And then I think good sign tapping on the X cost tutors as opposed to natural order, which is like anything for 4 versus having to have the 10 mana. As much as I joke about green just gets to do mana for nothing, having to have it is still meaningful compared to having to have fucking 4.
You say that, but Court of Calling is often cheaper than Natural Order.
Oh, that's true. Court of Calling, Convoke is fucked up, and I hate Convoke forever. I'm thinking, shut up. Here's the thing. I glazed over Court of Calling because I played Amalia in Pioneer, so I was like, fair card. Fair card. I've used it, therefore, fair card. Let's not be...
I do love Court of Calling, though. It's probably actually...
Jesus
It's climbing
Christ.
the ranks as one of my favorite fucking Magic cards of all time.
Elk, after
You can't fix me.
No. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm saying the next 2 cards are Tooth and Nail and Defense of the Heart. We have like a clear mile of this article is Gavin Verhey just like hands in his head going, you guys, green is not that strong. I swear. You guys, I promise green isn't that good in Commander. It's not. Selvala's not relevant. I promise. That's this whole section. The whole section is them going, it's not good.
Yeah. Defense of the Heart is way stronger than Tooth and Nail, but they're both like fucking abysmal dog shit.
Yeah, this is Defense of the Heart, I will say, is the one I've seen go off the most reliably. When I look at this card intellectually and go, oh wow, somebody else needs to have 3 or more creatures, that means they have a board, and so it's probably like, so stuff is happening, and it wouldn't be super broken for the green player to get creatures into play as well. That falls apart anytime I've played and had it played against me. Anytime I see it get played, it absolutely does blow the fucking game open. And so Defense of the Heart is the one I feel is like most game changerable, but even then I'm still like, green's not that good, guys. I hate him. But I hate him because I love punching down.
Up next is insane. They put this one at the end. They knew. Soul Ring.
Oh my god, they brought Sheldon's name into this.
Holy shit.
They invoked the name of Sheldon Menery to prevent banning the bullshit fast mana. I mean,
listen, I think if you say Soul Ring should be a game changer, you're self-reporting that you don't know what game changers are for.
No, you're wrong. That's incorrect. The motherfucker who told me not 10 minutes ago mana's better than cards doesn't see why having 3 mana on turn 1, putting 3 mana into play turn 1 is fucking pretty nice.
Mana is better than cards and Soul Ring's broken. However, every fucking deck runs Soul Ring, and saying I have Soul Ring in my deck in your Rule 0 conversation doesn't mean anything.
I think that's a like...
Just ban it. If you want Soul Ring out of the format, just ban it and never game changer it.
I agree with that. I do think we've sort of walked down this path too long, but I will say every deck I have ever cut Soul Ring from, I have been happier with, and everybody who has ever cut Soul Ring from a deck on my recommendation has reported that they're happier with it. I think this card sucks. I hate it. I think it's very powerful. I don't think it's like the most broken card in the game by any stretch of the imagination. But like it is a machine that turns otherwise fair commander games into generally uninteresting 3v1s. I've never had the like explosive Soul Ring start lead to a cool commander game. I've only ever had it lead to like a lame, we kick sand into a baby's face and then they sit the game out, or nobody has the sand to kick in the baby's face, and they just run away with it.
Yeah, I am very selective in my decks that I run Soul Ring in. I think I mostly don't play it in any of my decks. I think I have like it still in like less than half. It's like 4 out of my 10 decks run Soul Ring still, and it's mostly just not in green. Honestly, if I have a green deck, I don't put Soul Ring in it, except for Roxanne, because that deck's just fucking stupid anyway.
Yeah, because
so
you a bitch. Because you a little.
Who cares?
Because you a little rat is why. You a little rat is why you put it in Roxanne.
Rat. Yeah,
Like
I mean, I could cut it for Roxanne. Mana's already a joke in that deck.
Exactly. It's very much a like Mario Party ass card in my like Soul Ring to me is barely even Soul Ring. It's mostly just like if Commander could every once in a while randomly designate a player as the arch enemy to spice things up. That's what Soul Ring is.
Like I said, I don't want to live in a world where Soul Ring's ever on the Game Changer list because I don't think that's what it's meant to do. I think the Game Changer list is meant for like a Rule 0 conversation, and saying I have Soul Ring in my deck means fucking nothing. So if you do not like Soul Ring in the format, please ask for it to be banned. Don't say Game Changer Soul Ring. Like, legitimately. Let's just skip the middleman. Let's just get it out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel. More than anything. And I don't particularly care if Soul Ring's in the format or not. I'm not particularly swayed either way. Although, fuck you, Christian, for drawing Soul Ring every game. I don't know how you do it.
Gorbless Rubric, thank you for the Prime sub, my friend. I appreciate it. But yeah, like I've been ringless for I think like a year and a half now, and like any moment where I miss having a Soul Ring, that emotion is coming from the same place in my heart that wants me to turn to the other players and go, "Hey guys, could we let me win this game?" That would make me feel really good if we could let me win this Commander game.
What's so sad about Soul Ring is that it is very difficult to cut because Soul Ring's objectively better than your worst land.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I've cut Soul Ring from a majority of my decks. I only keep Soul Rings in decks where they have some amount of play, like Artifact Combo. Of course, I'm running my Soul Ring in that deck. But generally speaking, yeah, I've been off Soul Ring for basically all my decks.
Soul Ring's just like bracket 4 jail for me. It's one of those things where if somebody comes to me, if I'm building a list where I'm like, no restraints, play maximum magic possible, or if somebody comes to me and is like, I want this deck to be as mechanically good as it can be, Soul Ring just becomes one of those like, we're absolutely putting this one in. Like just as kind of like a matter of course 9 times out of 10. There's a couple decks that legitimately do want to avoid it, but it's few and far between.
Yeah. Well, beautiful. That's the end of the list for the considering, and then.
Yeah, we're the fucking best. In summary, they made this article literally just for us to react to.
Yeah, thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for the content. Rachel Weeks,
yeah,
Rebel, Akron Cardboard, everyone, thank you for paying my rent.
Yeah, thank you very kindly. Let's look.
And thank you, Psycharch King Jr.
Real shit. Let's look for raid targets.
Yes. Who shall get the raid?
My friend Beard Princess is raiding. That's who I play World of Warcraft with, so I'm absolutely raiding them.
Oh, look, Wildhound's live.
Oh, you little shit ass.
No, Trinket Mage is live.
Oh, Khan's streaming?
Yeah, I'll be dropping my... Oh, he's making a Roxanne deck, though. I don't know if he deserves
that. Oh, we don't want to reward... I don't know if we want to reward gruel activities.
I will be raiding Trinket Mage.
I will raid Trinket as well. Pay it forward. My chat, raid message is indestructible, Justin. Thank you, Elk, for reviewing this with me. For everybody else, I'll be live again tomorrow at the same time doing some Commander deck roasting. Elk, when will you next be live on Twitch?
Wait, what day is it?
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday right now.
Holy shit, it's fucking Tuesday. That's crazy. All right, beautiful. Yeah. I'm gonna be continuing to be live later. I think I'll be streaming at 4 p.m. today.
Excellent.
So actually 15 minutes from now. Actually, I should just not rage Trinket Mage. I need to actually do some stuff. I remember what day it was.
Oh my god. All right. Well, we're already rating Trinket Mage. But everybody, go be mean to that guy and then go watch Trinket Mage and now Double Boxed. Thank you all for coming. I'll be live again tomorrow. Please remember to stay toxic. Yep. And YouTube, that's just it for me, but I'll be back tomorrow.
Hooray. All right.
Huzzah.
I muted your Discord audio, so